National debate on gun control. More than 150 city, state, and local law enforcement agents search for the gunman who has had a history of bizarre behavior, delusions, and multiple encounters with authorities, including an episode in Washington in July 2017 when he was arrested for trying to get into the White House, according to police reports. Tips from people in the neighborhood helped lead police to search through the woods about 2 miles from the restaurant using sniffer dogs on the ground and aircraft overhead. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
If he looks different than the other students on this college campus, it's because he's only 13 years old. But the amazing young Tyler is already consuming alcohol on the level of someone twice his age, and his talents have gotten him accepted at Ohio State University. We are lucky to be joined today by the little prodigy himself, along with Tyler's parents, Jack and Christine. Good morning, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Tyler, most kids your age are in middle school and probably think that alcohol doesn't taste good, but not you.
Yeah, I like to drink liquor or beer or whatever. There's way more beer at college than at my house.
I'll bet there is. Your professors and classmates, everyone there at OSU says you just fit right in. You must have a lot of new friends.
Yeah, I'm just like everybody else. I go to class, I show up wasted, I leave early.
Wow.
So many impressive moments. You're active in a fraternity. You've streaked at 4 baseball games. You've broken an arm falling off a house. You've even made the wall of shame at a hooligan.
That night was stupid crazy.
That was a special day.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll free. Join us. The number here, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Also, our Skype username is lrn.fm. And we've got the Discord on-air call-in line room over at discord.lrn.fm. So feel free to jump in there and you can interact with us. And, of course, you can talk about whatever happens to be on your mind as we go into whatever you want to talk about. But we also bring stuff to the table that we think you're going to find interesting. And I mentioned the other day, we never got to this story, Penn State, according to Reason.com, actually according to Lenore Skenazy, who is apparently writing for Reason, their 98-year-old outing club, you know, the club on the college campus where college students will go kayaking or something like that, right? They'll go on a mountain climb. They'll go out. They'll go out and do some sort of physical activity. According to, sorry about that, Mark.
Yeah, you get kids together. They should go out and have physical activities, and it increases bonds between people, helps networking. It's great.
Apparently, 98 years was enough of that. Here's the story. What's more dangerous, rugby or a walk in the woods? At Pennsylvania State University, the administrators apparently think it's the latter. The Student Outing Club, which has gone backpacking, kayaking, and hiking in state parks over the course of its 98-year existence, will no longer be allowed to host outdoor events after administrators conducted a risk assessment, according to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Now, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, as far as I know, is a real newspaper. This is not The Onion. This is not a satirical magazine. This is the actual report here. Quote, "The types of activities in which Penn State Outing Club engages are above the university's threshold of acceptable risk for recognized student organizations," unquote, according to an official announcement. The key issue for administrators was that the outing club frequently visits locations with poor cell phone coverage.
Okay.
Now, of course, this wasn't an issue during the Coolidge administration, but now that cell phones exist, students are apparently expected to remain glued to them at all times. And not only that, always be in a place where there's cell phone coverage. I mean, you want to talk about the most pathetic mommying, babying, helicopter parenting kind of policy you can talk about here. It's to say that, oh, our poor little college students, they don't have a cell phone access in the forest, so no more forest trips, kids. All right, guess you're going to have to stay inside today.
Well, I mean, to some extent, this is a product of the litigious society in which we live, right? We read...
No, because you as an individual can go on a hike if you want to go for a damn hike. That's not
this
the
college
school's
isn't telling
responsibility.
You that. The college isn't telling you whether or not you as an individual can go on a hike.
Yeah.
They are further not saying that you can't put together an organization that goes on hikes.
It just can't be on the college
campus. They are simply saying that organization will not be a college-affiliated organization.
It's stupid.
Well,
it's insane.
Agreed, it's stupid. They likely feel the same way. But did we
Who's
not?
They?
The college?
The students or the administrators who made the decision to ban them from going outside?
Yeah, the administrators.
You think they feel like they're doing something stupid?
They feel like they're forced into a stupid situation, would be my guess. And let's not forget that it was just last year that the Eagle Scouts got sued for somebody who died on a hike.
Did they really?
We read the story on
liable?
The air. What's that?
Were they found liable?
I don't know the
case?
outcome of the case.
Well, anybody can sue anything, anybody.
Right, but you as a large organization with a foundation to protect and a bunch of students to educate, you say to yourself, do I want to be sued for these people who go on a hike? Or do I want to do what my main concern is, which is academic education? And yes, if you want to be this bastion of liberty, maybe you say, come on, sue me about this. But maybe you say, I just don't want to deal with this crap, and if these kids want to go on a hike, they're going to have to put together their own organization. They're doing it all on Twitter and Facebook anyway. Why do we have to be involved?
Well, if you feel, I think you're giving these people too much credit, acting as though the administrators of this college are knowingly doing something that is obviously stupid. Like, to us, it's stupid, but to them, I think they think it's legitimate because at the same time, as is pointed out here, Leslie Demert, who's the angry school alumni who alerted Lenore Skenazy to this travesty, said in an email, quote, students can still play field hockey, rugby, and football at Penn State, but they can no longer enjoy a cave or go scuba diving or even make an outdoor adventure under the guidance of trained student leaders at Penn State. Why? It's too dangerous to be out of cell phone range. I'm an alumna and from 1971, and I'm furious that Penn State administration allows indoor activities but has hobbled healthy outdoor leadership and controlled risk-taking opportunities. I mean, who here can argue that it is more dangerous to go on a hike than it is to play rugby? Or something like that. I mean, come on.
Yeah, so the news story, college student breaks leg at rugby event versus the news story, a team of 7 college hikers lost in the woods. Like, in one case, you have a byline, like just nothing for a story. In the other case, you have freaking moms and dads and people from communities surrounding the whole area, helicopters,
Do you have any evidence
dogs.
that ever happened?
Yes, this stuff happens.
At Penn State?
No, but at Penn State, look, a forward-thinking administrator isn't going to put up with that opportunity for it to happen at Penn State.
Wow.
They don't want it to happen at Penn State. Excuse me, at Penn State.
It's been fine for 100 years, dude.
I understand.
Whatever happened to waivers?
Yeah, Penn State is not liable for somebody who goes out on a hike and gets lost. That is not the fault of the administrators, and they will not be held liable for that, especially if they're signing disclaimers or waivers.
Look, I'm sorry, but you live in a world where waivers and disclaimers mean less and less every day because of the lawyers. Look, all I'm saying is that this is the fault of a litigious society where people are like, are you telling me that college students are possibly competent enough to sign a waiver so they can go out in the woods
they're
where they don't
legal
even
adults.
have cell phone
Yes,
coverage?
they're legal adults.
I
Yes.
agree with you 100%.
Okay, well, stop defending these people.
I'm not defending anything. What I'm telling you is this isn't the fault of the school. This is the fault of the attorneys.
No, it's the fault of the school. They're the only. I don't know if they're the only school that's doing this, but they're the ones that are making headlines for doing it. I suspect there are outdoors clubs at plenty of other colleges where everybody's fine and they go camping or they go on a canoe trip or something like that. Whoopee-doo.
At my college, they wouldn't do it either. I don't need that trouble.
Are there still camps? Are there still camps where kids go on canoe trips? Because I can tell you when I was growing up in Florida, we were on the Alafaya River canoeing over top of alligators.
Yep, they sure
Is that something that doesn't happen anymore? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that's how bad it got, but I'm pretty sure there's still camps out there, probably the very same one that I went to, where they're still canoeing down the same damn river. So, I mean, to defend these people is absolutely ridiculous. And to suggest that they know that they're making a stupid decision here, I mean, why would they make that decision?
That they agree that the decision is stupid?
Yeah.
They agree that the decision is stupid because they feel like
why wouldn't they come out and say, kids, we're real sorry here, but our attorneys say we got to do it like this. This is really dumb, but sorry, we're just going to have to dissolve the club.
It just makes them look weak. That's why.
No, it doesn't. When you're honest with people of why you're doing something, this makes them look weak to say, sorry, there's no cell phone coverage, guys. We can't just let you go out there without any cell phone coverage.
Well, I think what the smart thing for them to do is say that the hiking club has been diminishing in membership throughout the years.
Well, you don't know if that's true. It could be.
It probably has. Kids are just less likely to go out. So we're disbanding it.
Just anybody tell the damn truth.
Anybody
it's
who wants
ongoing.
To hike.
This is like really kind of just a continuation of the ongoing narrative of schools, right? Where it's like, okay, the whole college now is going to be the safe space, and you can't leave the safe space. We need to make sure that you never leave the safe space because we know you came from a school environment before that was very much like a prison, and we don't have enough of a prison-like environment here, so we need to increase the prison feel of the colleges as well. Don't ever leave.
If these people don't actually believe what they're saying, Mark, which is what you were suggesting here, then that's even more pathetic in my book. But I think they're into this stuff. They really do believe in the safe space thing. And if they don't, then they're cowards for not going against it. 855-450, free like freedom. Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
For professional staffing, there's only one name you need to know: Robert Half. Robert Half custom matches our candidates to your specific hiring requirements by combining personalized service from local staffing experts with an advanced matching technology based on 70 years of successful placements. For highly skilled accounting, finance, IT, legal, marketing, or administrative staffing, count on Robert Half. We'll find you productive, engaged employees. Learn more at roberthalf.com/radio.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Free Talk Live.
You give someone an ounce of liberty and they'll go around abusing it and harming everyone else with it.
If we legalize guns...
People will be shooting people everywhere.
Right.
If you legalize prostitution, people will be having sex on the street corners. If you legalize drugs, we'll have heroin vending machines in the streets. We've heard it all on Free Talk Live. They take it to the most absurd, illogical extremes, and you're absolutely right, Alexander. It's okay for them to have freedom.
Yeah, you can give them a gun. They won't go around shooting people, but watch out with their neighbor, because you give them a gun, they'll go around in a rampage around the city killing everyone.
But yes, they can be trusted, and apparently the government can be trusted too, because magically, we only elect the best of the best, the cream of the crop. The bureaucrats that are administering these programs are the upper echelon of society, the most trustworthy individuals.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes when I squint, I swear I can see a halo above their heads.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything that you want. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Our Skype username is LRN.FM. We are talking about the poor babies in the colleges in Pennsylvania State University, according to Reason.com. And Lenore Skenazy, they are now telling the Outing Club that has existed for 98 years. For a century, basically, this club has existed, and they've gone on various different outdoorsy kind of excursions. Not anymore. Now that the administrators have done their risk assessment, they have determined that it's just too dangerous. We can't be allowing our students, with whom we must be providing a safe space, to go outside. Because outside, dangerous things can happen. Now, of course, most accidents happen in the home, but nonetheless, it's dangerous out there. So and they specifically cited cell phone coverage as their reason. Oh, some places they might go canoeing, there's no cell phone coverage. Well, guess what? If your cell phone falls in the lake that you're canoeing in, then it doesn't really matter if there's cell phone coverage out there anyway. But hey, guess what? Risk is involved in life, and this babying, this childification of America, this overprotection, helicopter parenting, its goal is to just extract as much risk as possible from the real world. And of course, that's not something you can actually accomplish in any meaningful sense. It's all just for show, or you just round off all the edges and put a child in a little, bouncy room, and maybe they won't hurt themselves. But it just gets so extreme and so ridiculous. And this is about a perfect example of how far this has come. So overprotection.
A lot of people think about insurance and these sorts of things when they're caught in these situations. For instance, I was looking at one point in the relatively recent past in purchasing a campground, and I wanted to do hikes. But we looked into it, and if you do hikes,
the insurance policy would be crazy.
The insurance policy goes up. Well, they'll give you an insurance policy for hikes, sure. But the thing is if you make the campground says this is a hike, this is a campground hike, come on the campground
an official hike. Yeah.
Right. It as official as opposed to unofficial, then the cost goes up. What I think the university probably did was say to themselves, this will prevent us from getting sued by some over litigious set of parents.
Right.
And B, if we cut this, it looks like our insurance policy will go down by $7,500. I'm just making a number up. So with that $7,500, they say to themselves, well, what is this 98-year-old hiking organization that has been affiliated with the university worth to us? Well, it's not worth $7,500. And they said, well, sorry, kids. I guess you're going to have to organize your hikes amongst yourselves. I really hope that what this is a springboard for these kids to find more ways to go on hikes.
To organize outside of the school.
Yeah, that they really get excited, like, wow, we need this welds them together as a hiking organization. And
rather than breaks it apart.
Yeah, twice as many hiking hours are participated in by university students, or that much or more or whatever. But
yeah, I agree with you.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's certainly one way that those who are in this college who would like to continue hiking, they can just create their own unofficial club, one that is not officially affiliated with the university, and then just go on their hikes. That would solve this problem. Now, I've never actually gone to one of these colleges. Johnson, you did go to an arts college.
Right.
Did they have the official school-sanctioned club kind of things on the campus that you were aware
Yeah,
of?
I started one.
Wasn't it a gamers club?
Right, yeah.
Now, what's the reason why you want to do it through the college? Don't they give some funding? It's funding, right? Yeah. So that's kind of the deal, is you get a piece of the action.
Not only money, but this wouldn't count for this particular club that we're discussing, but also access to facilities. Would be nice.
Officially being able to use some sort of
rooms and
projector or whatever.
Yeah, projector, exactly. That type, school equipment or rooms.
I see.
But in an outing club, unless the school is providing some sort of hiking equipment, you're not going to really need any benefit from the school there.
They could, again, they're getting money, though, so they could print up flyers or something like that.
Maybe they would get access to a college van that they can take people in.
Could be, the security van or something like that. So, I see what you're saying, that maybe there wouldn't be too much of a detriment to them losing whatever funding, but that's probably the reason why a lot of these clubs get started, is because poor college students or whatever, even if their parents are wealthy, this is a way for them to get a chunk back that they had paid into the system, so to speak. So I can understand the desire to go through that system, but apparently now going through that system is going to result in, the complete neutering here of this particular club.
The irony would be that what I could see happening is students saying, well, we're going to go out on an outing anyway, right? And maybe posting about it in whatever college newspaper and say that we're going to do this because they've spited us, we're all going to go out anyway. And then someone has an accident and sues the school because they went out because the school canceled the club.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So, the school cancels the club and gets sued for the first time in 98 years because they decided to shut down the club, is when they actually get the liability happen to them.
So go ahead. What is going to happen, though, to the outing club? Well, according to the Post-Gazette, Ms. Powers said meetings between the outing club student leaders and university are, quote, ongoing, unquote, about the club's future role on campus. Those talks are focused on the possibility of forming a different kind of club, according to the current club president, Richard Waltz. One that still holds film festivals and hosts speakers, but can no longer lead students on walks in the woods. And then the addition here from Lenore Skenazy is maybe they can take virtual reality walks in a padded room, provided there's cell service.
When you're in a movie, aren't you supposed to turn your cell phone
off? Yeah, and people been slaughtered in a movie theater, right?
Yeah,
that
that's
happened. Right. So you want to talk about danger?
Yep.
Anyway, there you go. That's the most ridiculous story I've seen from a college campus in quite a while. If you've got one, you're welcome to share. Maybe you're on a college campus. You tend to hear about them, the most, because we only see the stuff that hits the news headlines. Every now and then, Vincent, who's one of our sometime co-hosts here on Free Talk Live, who goes to the local college, he reports on some of this, overprotective crap that's going on. I saw a video from a friend of mine who does a lot of traveling in the Bitcoin sphere recently, and she was at some kind of an event. It looked like a party, and it said safe space there. And the thing is, I don't know if people are doing that ironically or if they're actually trying to embrace this idea of the safe space, because I don't know who's throwing the parties. Right. So looking at it, it's is that a joke, or are these people really into the whole safe space
My guess would be
concept?
That it wouldn't be a joke.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're right about that.
College kids don't seem to do that anymore.
I don't think it was college kids.
I'm pretty sure jokes are racist.
Yeah, sure.
It's transphobic.
All right, the toll-free
number.
number.
They're not inclusive.
Right.
No doubt about it. There's always a victim to it.
There's always a victim. Right. Like at this point in time, either word jokes, which have no victim, other than sort of everybody, everybody goes, oh, your word joke. Or every other joke has a victim, so just no jokes.
All right.
Your meritocracy is oppressing me, man.
We got more coming up. You can join us here, 855-450, free like freedom, 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can dial toll-free to join us here. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Our Skype username is LRN.FM. And joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
Freedom's Phoenix is a liberty-oriented news aggregation site. If you want the newest and freshest stories and perspective on current events from those who value liberty, then freedomsphoenix.com has it. Their daily dispatch is the best way to stay up to date on science, technology, historical findings, liberty news, government overspending, and the rise of the police state. It's Freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. That's freedomsphoenix.com. As we continue, we'll, of course, take your calls about whatever you want. And we were talking about the ridiculous overprotection of college students. You're certainly welcome to comment on that. And it's not just, of course, extending to college students, but also high school and younger. The overprotective mommy helicopter society is just... It's gotten even worse than it had when we first talked about helicopter parenting. Must have been 15 years ago on Free Talk Live. I remember it back when we were like a local talk show in Sarasota, Florida. And now it seems like this mentality is even more pervasive than it was back then. I think it's really sad. So, of course, you're welcome to comment on that. In other news, Johnson, you wanted to talk about the future.
Sure.
The future of income. Tell me about it. What's going on?
So I've seen a couple of articles talking about this whole idea of universal basic income, which is, an idea that it's kind of apparently some people who claim to be libertarian are on board with it. I don't know if that can possibly jive at all because it requires taxation.
Well, does it? I mean, the typical methods do, but we actually had Greg in New York call this show, and he said there's some kind of a crypto solution to this where cryptocurrency could just inflate and print itself into people's hands. Now, of course, in my opinion, that wouldn't be worth crap in the marketplace.
It would be worthless.
But that's what he's trying to put together.
Right, yeah.
So in theory, it could be tried, but it will probably fail miserably if it has to compete with other
Well, we'll see.
Voluntary socialism is it's a Marxist fever dream. If you want... Believe me, the socialists of the 19th century understood they understood the implicit need for violence to get what they wanted. They felt that violence was being used against them. They were right. They just didn't have it nailed down exactly how. Yeah. And they felt like the only way to get that, I was going to say to get it to stop. They don't want it to stop.
The violence.
Right, they just want it turned around and, facing against somebody else. These
the rich, specifically.
These rich people, these rich, powerful people suck. We need new, rich, powerful people. That's all they've said, right? Our rich, powerful people will be better than their rich, powerful people is all they ever said. And, there's some societies that are more egalitarian than others. But, let me ask you. If the lowest quintile in America is richer than it was 30, 50, 100 years ago, is that good or is it bad? If in order to get there, the richer got richer, but the lowest quintile got richer too, but at a slower pace, is that acceptable to you?
Yes.
Or is it important that the rich only rise at the rate that the poor do? And if so, you're not talking about pulling people out of poverty. You're talking about ending envy.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Right. So I just find this to be an interesting topic all around anyway, just to see where it's moving, because, again, it seems like it's just another angle towards, some sort of a communism or a socialism sort of it's just...
Well, yeah, it comes from the idea... You remember what was the movie called? Zeitgeist. There's a movie called Zeitgeist. Where
Loose Change.
No, different. Those are two different movies. But Zeitgeist, there was a series of them.
I thought they were the same people that wasn't...
I'm not aware of that. It could be. But Zeitgeist kind of spawned this cult following that because it repackaged some old pitch from the 1970s, apparently, and the idea was that there would be these cities where it would all be computer controlled, and essentially it's Marxism with robots was how Stefan Molyneux defined it, and it was very accurate.
Yeah, very clever statement.
But ultimately, the idea of these people is that, the machines are going to rise up, they're going to take all the jobs, and what are we going to do? Well, we should be able to live on all these machines and not have to do any kind of work. And so therefore, we're going to need a bunch of money to come into us for free because we're not going to be working. So let's just have the government pay us.
Well,
seems to be where they're coming from with that.
Yeah, I don't think that's...
Because they don't understand economics.
Yeah, I don't think that's exactly right. I mean, yes, once everything's automated, then it will be extraordinarily inexpensive to give poor people a bunch of things. So
that's true.
There are places in the world where potable water's the problem. Here in the United States, where we are wealthy, potable water isn't the problem, so much so that you can go to a public park and drink potable water out of a stone fountain, right?
Well, here in some places there are shortages of water because maybe the government is inefficient and can't deliver water effectively, or it's just really dry in certain spots.
But even in those places where there's shortages of water, the water fountains in the city parks or in the malls or in the whole bunches of places, the public schools, wherever there's water fountains, the airports and all the other places where water fountains are still delivering water.
Yeah, probably.
So, and it's free. You can go in there, you can walk into an airport where you do not buy a plane ticket. You can bring a bottle of water, you can fill up that bottle of water at that airport, and you can walk out.
Yeah, sure.
And never having paid a penny. And that is
your tax dollars are paying for that.
Right.
But yeah.
Think about the 200,000 years that man has been on the planet, modern man has existed. How much of that time has clean, pure, potable water been available for free?
Not long.
Now, you could go to streams, but somebody was very likely pooping up that stream. You have no clue whether that water was potable. You have a really good, strong belief that the water that's coming out of the fountain is potable.
Yeah.
And if there isn't, it's a scandal.
For sure.
Free water.
Look at Flint.
Free water that isn't potable is a scandal in America.
Yep.
But it's free. And I believe that we're on the cusp of free food, too.
I see what you're saying. You're saying as
the problem is that food will not be to the standards of other people. Like, we already have free food. Like, you remember the 5-pound blocks of cheese? We got EBT cards. We got all kinds of things now. You have to sign up for it.
There's a food bank down here where you can, if you're poor, you can just walk in and walk out with a bag full of expired food.
Almost every town in America has some kind of food bank, and chances are good that they've got...
Actually, I don't even think they take expired food. I think they reject the expired food. So that's how good we have it, right? Like the fact that they can reject the expired food, which most of it's probably still edible. If you're talking about canned food, you can eat it. It's just not going to taste as good, within once it's outside of that period.
Well, I had pigs for a long time.
Yeah.
I had up to 50 pigs at my house at one point. I was getting from a local food shelf, is what they called it. It was a food bank. From a local food bank, I was getting all of their bread and
donuts.
Well, there were some donuts. That's a different story. I was getting donuts from a different place. That was from the bakery. That's just like, we can't sell these anymore.
That's what was exciting to me was the donuts.
Yes, you enjoyed getting the free donuts that I didn't give to the pigs. You managed to scavenge the donuts from the pigs.
Donuts.
You've stolen from the mouths of poor, defenseless swine their little treats. Now, there were plenty of donuts. Nonetheless, what I'm trying to say is that basically what I got from these food banks were artesian breads.
Fancy stuff, yeah.
Yeah, they wanted the sliced Wonder and the white wheat and all that other honey wheat and all that sort of thing. That's what the poor people wanted. Those went, but the artesian breads didn't. Many times there were pastries and croissants that came from a local bakery that went through there, and they didn't get rid of all those. And I also got lots and lots and lots and lots of vegetables that went through there. So from what I could tell, they didn't have the poor people didn't want artesian breads and vegetables, but the candy bars were always gone.
Is it artesian or artisan?
You pick.
I think the other one works.
Artisan.
Artisan?
No, I think either
Artesian?
one.
Artesian might be the well.
Yeah, artesian would be.
I think it's. I think I hear it pronounced artisan on the commercials.
I think you might be right.
Yeah. Toll-free number here. In fact, we've got one of those coming up. 855-450 free. We'll tell you about artisan arranged flowers.
I don't know if I'm going to be
from
able
the
to
side
fix
of
that.
a volcano. More on the way here. It's Free Talk Live for Mother's Day. We'll give you that coming up, and you can take control of the airwaves. Bring up anything you want.
This is Daryl W. Perry, host of Free Talk Live. This November, I'll be running in the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, and I've accepted a spot on Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work. Since 1989, 353 people in the United States have been exonerated by DNA testing, including 38 who pled guilty to crimes they did not commit, and 20 of whom served time on death row. The Innocence Project provided direct representation or critical assistance in 180 of these cases. With your help, the Innocence Project can help even more people who have been wrongly convicted. As part of Team Innocence Project, I'm raising awareness about wrongful convictions and raising funds to help free the innocent. I've already paid the race registration fees. However, to secure my spot on Team Innocence Project in the New York City Marathon, I need to raise $3,500 by November 1st. You can support the Innocence Project and help me secure my race entry by going to run.freetalklive.com.
I tried other brands, but I came back to my Sunshine.
For the best hot or cold pain relief, get the best. Get a Sunny Bay heating pad.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck or back or shoulder.
And the best relief for that pain is a Sunny Bay heating pad. Did you know that the American College of Physicians said that one of the best ways to treat muscle pain is heat therapy? Sunny Bay heating pads are handmade with high quality, can be used at home or at work, and have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy.
Why take another pill?
Many people use our Sunny Bay heating pads alone and got rid of the neck pain.
Long distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
See why our homegrown small business at sunny-bay.com has tried to help people just like you. Get your Sunny Bay heating pads at sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com or call 253-678-1361 for hot and cold therapy. sunny-bay.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial on in here, toll free. Take control of the airwaves. Bring up anything that you want. We're talking about this universal basic income idea, which is unfortunately something we're going to have to continue to battle with over time. It's such an obvious, to anybody that understands economics and how unintended consequences always come with using force on others, which of course is what backs programs like universal basic income. They have pretty serious unintended consequences. We can get into that coming up here. In fact, we haven't even short for bouquets, and they're bouquing awesome. Bouqs flowers are as unique and special as your mom. They're freshly cut from Bouqs farms and delivered straight to your mom, so they last weeks, not days. Bouqs even has farms located on the side of a volcano that produce flowers so gorgeous, Mom will post pics of them and brag about you. And because Bouqs cuts out the middleman, you'll get amazingly fresh flowers at an amazing price. So show Mom how much you care. Send her artisan design flowers from the Bouqs. Order today and get an extra 15% off when you enter code FTL. That's BOUQS.com. And remember to enter FTL, like Free Talk Live, to save an extra 15%. That's Bouqs.com. As we continue here, Johnson, now where was this story from that you were going to be sharing with us?
Fast Company.
Okay.
And this is sort of a new take on this idea, which is why I found it interesting. So the idea here is universal basic assets could be the foundation to build an equitable society. And the pitch here is we can generate much more income for society if we hold assets like natural resources, carbon tax payments, or a sovereign wealth fund in common and use it to fund programs like a universal basic income. And this article, again, comes from Fast Company by Ben Schiller. And
sounds like some kind of pie in the sky nonsense, but yeah, let's hear it.
Yep. Could be pie in the sky. Could be interesting. I mean, either way, I think it's going to be, interesting. I just wonder what level of aggressive force is going to be either right on display in this or maybe mitigated out from the just general idea of universal basic income. So it goes on to say, work isn't the universal provider it used to be. It pays some people decent wages and benefits, but these days it leaves a lot of people short of what they need to earn.
For sure.
Need to earn. So work has always had people who are in the bottom quintile, and, some people earned more than others.
Well, it says, for example, only 15% of retail workers nationwide make a living wage, according to Just Capital, a corporate responsibility research firm.
15%, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Many new jobs are either temporary or offered on a contract basis, not full-time, meaning they don't provide the middle-class security that traditionally came with a job. And that's before we address the looming threat of automation. Once robots and artificial intelligence can move boxes around warehouses, drive trucks down highways, and answer calls in call centers, traditional employment may be a minority sport, something involving only a slice of the population. We'll reach a
fear.
Yeah. We'll reach a situation where some people can work for a living while everyone else is struggling on gigs and handouts.
Yeah, it certainly looks like that, but a healthy economy should evolve into something where, a large enough percentage of the population is making a living wage. Look, I don't know what a living wage is to these people. What I'm saying is that there were times in my life when I needed to share a domicile with somebody else in order to make ends meet. Now, I mean, I don't know, in America, is it the right of everyone to have a little studio apartment and have, and not have to share a bathroom and a kitchen sink with people? I don't know what these people think. But there are families out there, and I'm talking about families with kids that sometimes have a renter that lives in one of the bedrooms, and they need that extra income, and that's just the way that is. I don't have, I don't know what living wage means to these people. I'm talking about what I believe to be sort of a real living wage. And, yeah, things get harder. Things are hard. I'm not sure that they're getting harder. I need to see some evidence. The best evidence that these people always trot out is the disparity between rich and poor is growing. That's not evidence that people in the bottom...
That doesn't mean things are getting harder, but what you can look at to show that things are getting harder is the quality of life, the cost of living.
Sure.
Those things tend to... the quality of life goes down, the cost of living goes up over time as the government inflates the money supply, and of course that's going to happen even worse with universal basic income.
Yeah, that's highly related is when you're talking about the government, in increasing the money supply. But one thing I wonder about is what kind of choices are poor people making with their money?
Generally bad choices.
Yeah. Have you noticed how some people seem to do much, much better in the gig economy than others do?
Yeah, because some of them are more entrepreneurial.
Right, being
others.
just more entrepreneurial or even just working longer hours, doing what they need to be doing to make money rather than just occasionally, picking it up and doing it part-time.
It's the difference between, as we've talked about recently with the Uber drivers, those who would sue Uber to demand that they be considered employees rather than contractors because they want to have full employment benefits. They want to know what hours they're working. They want to get paid for all the time when they're just sitting around. These are the types of people who are not the entrepreneurial type, whereas the others, they don't have time to sue. They're out working. They're interested in providing good service to their customers, so they keep coming back for more.
So it goes on here. There are lots of emerging ideas to address this. We could have, for example, portable benefit schemes where workers collect fractions of benefits between gigs, thus making up whole benefits. We could expand the earned income tax credit, a popular scheme supported by the left and right, so it reaches more people.
Yep.
More popularly, we could have a universal basic income like the one advocated by Andrew Yang, New York entrepreneur turned candidate for president.
I believe that Norway is canceling its universal basic income.
They sure are.
Oh, whatever it is, Finland. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I saw that headline too. That might be worth pulling up to see what their rationale or what their reason was. It was a limited experiment, I think, like in one canton or something like that. It wasn't rolled out across the whole country. Well, I'm curious to know, who was this Yang? Andrew Yang? He's got a popular proposal.
Well, it goes on to say a little bit more about Yang. He says, the problem with universal basic income, though, it's obvious. It's very expensive. Yang's version, which calls for everyone to get $1,000 a month, would cost $2 trillion a year. This is at a time when, as a nation, we're already $21 trillion in debt, and many of us aren't keen to pay more taxes.
Yeah, $2 trillion per year is a phenomenal amount of money, and that's $1,000 a month. You know, once you start giving somebody $1,000 a month for free, the first thing they're going to say is, this is not enough money to live on.
Yeah. And Yang wants to institute additional taxes like a national VAT tax.
Sure.
You know, like a sales tax, but, national sales tax, because it's probably one of those flat tax advocates for, simple, whatever the simple tax. What was the tax thing that we talked about for a while?
The so-called fair tax.
Right.
There's the fair tax, the flat tax, and of course
the fair
VAT.
tax is a tax at retail. Right, a federal tax of like 30%.
Whereas a VAT comes every step of the way through before the sale, and a fair tax is essentially. A flat tax is
an income tax. With
basically the income tax
rate.
as it exists, but only more or less the 1040 EZ form,
without the modifiers and confusion.
So you can't write off all the different things you can write off. It's just everybody's taxes are done this way.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't make sense that we don't have, the government has all the information already. They could essentially just do the taxes and you could check their work versus.
But no, the reason they do that is they want you tettling on yourself. Okay, so a lot of people are getting their, W-4s and W-2s.
Well, I would go with the reason why they're doing it is because there are these huge tax organizations that they're paying millions to lobbyists to say,
like H&R Block.
Yeah, to say, hey, you need to continue these programs or whatever. You can't make taxation simple.
This is our business.
Yeah, we're making money off of it.
That probably is true. Certainly, that's the lobbying aspect. But think about this for a second. The IRS is constantly. People are constantly reporting income to the IRS that they didn't know was out there. So this is all found money to them. When the IRS is talking about, for instance, small business people and what percentage are they of the population, small business people are basically reporting their own income. There's no 1080 or whatever the hell these things, I don't know what they all are, I'm sorry, 1040, whatever these forms. There's no form for how much a small business person made per year. They're quarterly having to tell the government how much they made. In many cases they underreport, but it's still found money for the IRS.
All right, we got more coming up here about the universal basic income concept and what's going on
Universal basic assets.
Assets, which is some sort of modification. We'll tell you about it coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, April 24th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.63 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,325 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $36, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,331. Antiwar.com reports CIA Director Mike Pompeo is on track to become the next Secretary of State after the Senate Foreign Relations Committee voted to approve him 11-9. All Republicans voted in favor, and Senator Chris Coons voted present. Senator Rand Paul was the real deciding vote, having switched sides after opposing Pompeo. Democratic Senator Coons had also initially voted no, but changed to present as a courtesy because Senator Johnny Isakson was not present and voted by proxy. Isakson's vote would have made it 11-10, but only 10-10 among present voters, which would have forced Isakson to drive back from a funeral for a second vote. Paul's change was a surprise to almost everyone. However, Senator Paul cited multiple conversations with President Trump. During the meetings, Trump assured him that he believes the Iraq War was a mistake and that the U.S. must leave Afghanistan, and that Pompeo agrees with him. President Trump has publicly expressed these positions in the past. Despite that, he's done nothing to end either of the wars. In fact, President Trump announced in August that he'd changed his mind on Afghanistan since becoming president. He said this in the process of announcing a substantial escalation of that war. Paul's reversal prevented Pompeo from becoming the first nominee since 1925 to not get the Senate panel's approval. Without Monday's vote, it was also very likely that his nomination would have failed outright, while now it appears certain. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend-A-Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend-A-Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports a former Texas Juvenile Center employee who stole $1.2 million worth of fajitas was sentenced to 50 years in prison for theft by a public servant. Visiting State District Judge Manuel Benales ordered the 50-year sentence for Gilberto Escamilla, who admitted to using taxpayer money to buy fajita meat and sell it for profit while working as a purchaser for Darrell B. Hester Juvenile Detention Center. An audit report revealed Escamilla managed to shave $1,251,578 from food purchases for 9 years undetected. Escamilla was arrested in 2017 after $800 worth of fajitas, which the facility does not serve, were delivered while he was away from work at a doctor's appointment. Escamilla said in his testimony, "It was selfish. It started small and got bigger and out of control. It got to the point where I couldn't control it anymore." Cameron County Assistant District Attorney Peter Gilman asked the judge to issue the lengthy sentence to prevent other public servants from committing similar acts. Gilman said, "We feel a strong message should be sent." For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports police on Monday arrested the man suspected of fatally shooting 4 people at a Waffle House restaurant, ending a 36-hour manhunt after tips from the public led police to search secluded woods nearby. Photos posted online by Nashville police showed Travis Ranking, a 29-year-old construction worker, in custody. He was suspected of opening fire with an assault rifle at a restaurant early Sunday, then fleeing the scene naked. Photographed in the back of a police car, he looked disheveled and was wearing a torn red shirt and dirty blue jeans. He had scratches on his shoulder. No motive was known for the attack that sent shudders throughout one of the biggest cities in the U.S. South and stoked a simmering national debate on gun control. More than 150 city, state, and local law enforcement agents searched for the gunman, who has had a history of bizarre behavior, delusions, and multiple encounters with authorities, including an episode in Washington in July 2017 when he was arrested for trying to get into the White House, according to police reports. Tips from people in the neighborhood helped lead police to search through the woods about 2 miles from the restaurant using sniffer dogs on the ground and aircraft overhead. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
But first, our parenting expert, Rebecca McCallum, is here with some advice.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Rebecca. Now, Rebecca runs a popular parenting blog called Mom Magic.
That's right. It's about the everyday parenting choices that could make a big difference on our children.
Rebecca, I read the blog a lot. My first question is, who the hell do you think you are telling me how to raise my kids?
You know, I have a degree in early childhood education, but my greatest education has been raising 3 beautiful kids of my own.
Okay, Rebecca, what other bullshit do you have the nerve to share with us this morning?
I talk about this in my book, and it does take a lot of effort, but parents really should teach their child a second language. My daughter Hazel and I are learning French together.
Wow, you know, I'll bet a lot of moms watching right now are thinking, you.
Well, I get that a lot, but the window during which language acquisition skills are at their peak is really
whatever.
very
small.
small.
I wish I had done that. You win, but guess what I just remembered? You're not my boss.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us right here on number 855-450. Free like freedom. 855-450-3733. Skype. Username is lrn.fm. If you want to call us there, you'll sound better than if you call on the phone. And if you want to sound the best, you can join our Discord on-air call-in line chat room, which you can join through our Discord chat at discord.lrn.fm. Joining you tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
If you're just tuning in, Johnson, you were getting us started on a story about not universal basic income, but universal basic assets?
Yes.
And this is some plan that's, what is a blogger came up with here, or a journalist?
A journalist. Well, I don't know if this is something that they necessarily came up with on their own. I think that they're
promoting the idea.
a few people talking about this idea.
Okay, and this was, the source was where again?
Fast
Company.
That's
what it was. All right, so let's continue here, because I don't think he's really quite described what this is. It's something about owning pieces of assets and then having a government tax them.
Yeah, so I want to recap this thing here about Yang. It says, the problem with universal basic income, though, is obvious. It's very expensive. Yang's version, which calls for everyone to get $1,000 a month, would cost $2 trillion a year. This is at a time when, as a nation, we're already $21 trillion in debt, and many of us aren't keen to pay more taxes. Yang would institute a national value-added tax, sort of like a sales tax. Ugh. While UBI has a lot of admirers, the real question isn't whether it's a good idea worth trying, it's how you would find $2 trillion to pay for it. Enter universal basic
Well,
assets.
they'd print it. Just to be clear, they would. If they didn't have this basic assets thing, which we haven't heard about yet, they'd just go ahead and print it up, and that would be inflationary, and that's would wreak havoc on the economy, like we've seen in Venezuela.
Right. So some of the questions, some of the things that people who support the UBI say is well, we'd stop all this war stuff that's going on.
Why would they think that?
Yeah.
Why do they think that?
Yeah. There's no evidence they're going to stop war.
They're already in a fantasy world of creating a UBI. They might as well create the fantasy world where the government does everything that they want it to do.
I see what you're saying.
I mean, it's a fantasy world because the government never does anything that any one person wants it to do.
If you get a universal basic income, you're going to get that on top of a warmongering state.
Right.
We'll do all of it.
Donald Trump, the president of the United States and conceivably the most powerful person on the planet, is frustrated that the government won't do what he wants it to do. How do you think?
Guns?
Yeah. Where are you on this spectrum? Yeah. So that's why I just it's ridiculous to want the government to do things, but that's kind of what we do here on Free Talk Live, and anybody's welcome to call in at 855-450-3733.
Well, we don't want the government to do things.
And yes, we do.
We want the government to go away.
We want them to stop doing things, and stopping is doing something. Right? If I am repeatedly punching you in the face, stopping is doing something.
Okay, all right.
Okay?
Fine, I guess.
So, yes, we do want the government to do something. We want them to take up gardening. We want them to look into bird watching. We want them to do lots of things that don't have to do with rapaciously stealing from citizens and lying and, killing and doing all the things that they do.
So let's hear what this basic universal basic assets.
So it says here that one answer may come in the form of universal basic assets. UBA can mean a fund of publicly owned infrastructure or revenue streams, like Alaska's Permanent Fund, which pays residents up to $2,000 a year from state oil taxes.
That's
or
true.
It can mean actual assets that drive down the cost of living, like tuition-free education and free public broadband. There are lots of proposals going around now that fall into these two camps, and below are some examples. Entrepreneur Peter Barnes has called for the creation of a sky trust that would both limit the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and provide revenue from carbon taxes. These carbon dividends solve two problems at once: income inequality and climate change.
They don't.
Yeah, no, they don't.
Carbon taxes would just bring the price of products up, and that means the people who are buying those products, of course, they hit the poor people the hardest, because if the price of a can of whatever it is that you're buying goes up, the rich persons, they're going to just shrug it off, whereas the poor person, it might make the difference between them not being able to pay the rent.
And there's I was talking about whether or not this would mitigate or put the aggression right on display. Well, there we go. The aggression is right on display.
There you go.
So here's what you do. You hold companies that produce carbon dioxide responsible for their carbon dioxide production. And for instance, we make carbon scrubbers that are bicycle powered. We tell the companies that they've got to hire fat poor people to sit on the bicycles and pedal the carbon scrubbers, and then they can pay them some kind of living wage to scrub the atmosphere. Problem solved.
Well, continuing here with this, he said he would also tax corporations for using natural resources, on the thinking that the atmosphere, minerals, and fresh water around us represent a joint inheritance. He would also tax speculative financial transactions and the use of the electromagnetic spectrum.
Are we still talking about this Yang guy, this presidential candidate?
This is Peter Barnes, entrepreneur Peter Barnes.
I think that it's
he's an entrepreneur, and this is one of the problems with smart people who don't understand economics, right? Like, he's probably a really brilliant businessman or whatever. He's very successful, but he doesn't really understand the fact that when you tax corporations, the corporations don't pay those taxes. It's their customers every single time.
Oh, I suspect he understands that deeply. I would say that it is undeniable that air is a joint resource, right? Like, nobody's keeping the air around their property in some kind of dome, or nearly
There's
nobody.
probably somebody with a dome out
Here's
there.
a wonderful can of Perrier.
Well, there are oxygen bars.
But every time somebody's tried an ecosphere or something like that,
biodome.
We're gonna create a place where we have a bunch of people who make food and breathe the air, and it's never worked. Never worked. Like, it's never worked, not once. So we pretty much have to have this sort of shared resource. Yeah, I think that, rivers and streams, there's the water in those is a shared resource. Even if you own the stream upstream, it comes down to your neighbor. You don't keep the water, right?
Let's go to Bad Slave. He's on the line in New Hampshire on Skype. Hello, Bad Slave.
Well, I keep hearing these grandiose plans. I mean, from minimum wage to UBI and now UBA, these ways of interjecting money into the pockets of the poor people. And nobody says, if we kind of got rid of the load that's represented by the complete waste and destructiveness of central governments, that many resources would be freed up.
There's no doubt. If those resources were freed up, entrepreneurs could do more. People could expand their businesses. People could get hired at these businesses. But that doesn't address. I mean, I agree with you there. But that doesn't address the fear that these people have of, I'm going to lose my job entirely because of automation, because of machines, because of robots. That's where this fear and this clamoring for this universal basic income is coming from. Every time you hear it talked about, it's, well, we're just not going to be able to work.
I don't believe that's.
It's crap. I don't. Yeah, I don't accept that. That's the same thing in a sense. That whether it's people just giving out bread and housing or money or assets or automation, that this is the idea that productive people can't produce is never going to exist.
I think there's a difference between, and you're right about that, there's a difference between the productive people, the people that want to be working, and then there's the people that don't want to work. There's the kind of people that are like,
well, work is called work for a reason. It sucks.
But there's actually ways for people that don't want to work to manage. I mean, they do it. I mean, they're
a lot of them are on welfare.
They hang out. They dumpster dive. They're hobos. I don't know if you know. Willette was her name. What was she? They had a book.
Oh yeah. The girl that went on the hobo thing. She wrote a book about it. Yeah, you're right. Hey, thanks, Bad Slave. I appreciate it. Toll free number here 855-450-FREE. You can join us.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food. Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free right here. Take control of the airwaves. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Skype username, if you want to join us there, is LRN.FM. And $6 shirts, the number $6shirts.com is where you can go to get some killer t-shirts. They've got a gigantic selection of witty and clever shirts that'll make you the most exciting person in your social group. Well, I don't know if they can guarantee that, but that's the claim. $6shirts.com, and they are very, very affordable. In fact, you can get an even better discount by using code FTL, like Free Talk Live, for 10% off. And they do accept Bitcoin. You're also buying from people that actually appreciate the message of liberty. That's why they advertise with Free Talk Live. The founder of the company, as I understand it, is a Free Talk Live listener. So once again, go do your t-shirt shopping. Get some cool shirts, whether it be pop culture related or politics or sports. They've got all kinds of different shirts there at $6shirts.com. The number $6shirts.com. And you don't see it tonight, but if you watched over the last couple, if you watched last night, I was wearing my Snake Plissken shirt that I got from $6shirts.com. And if you missed it, you can always go and watch our YouTube videos over at youtube.freetalklive.com. Or if it's within the last couple weeks and you want to watch a recent episode, you can pull up the HD version on Twitch at twitch.lrn.fm. So once again, check out $6shirts.com and use code FTL for 10% off. Johnson, you were telling us about universal basic assets, not universal basic income.
Right.
And there was some entrepreneur who was trying to come up with some kind of plan to do something. Can you kind of recap what this guy was saying?
Well, he was talking about that
carbon taxes, I think, was one of the aspects of it. And I forget what the other one was.
This was, he was, this was...
And that it would somehow be distributed.
Peter Barnes, a Sky Trust to limit the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere to produce revenue from carbon taxes. So essentially just a tax, and, it's just, taking money on one end and stealing money on the other, essentially. Is his whole idea. It's not really a new...
It's the same old government scheme.
Right.
Just with a new name.
Yeah, pretty much. Another one of these
Sky
schemes,
Trust.
Yeah, Sky Trust. We're going to protect the sky. So the new idea here, another one of these schemes is the UK think tank IPPR recently proposed a similar sovereign wealth fund owned by and run in the interest of the citizens.
Because that's the way it always works out. Whenever you give the government control over assets and investments, they're always doing it for the interests of the citizens, right? All the money that they're bringing in, they've got you in mind, right? The government. Sure.
Well, this
just a new piggy bank for them to raid.
Yeah, this would finance the fund with a scrip tax of up to 3%, requiring businesses to issue equity to the government or pay a tax of equivalent value.
I'm not
sales of land owned by the UK monarchy and higher inheritance taxes.
Okay. Equity, would that be like a piece of ownership, basically?
That's what it sounds like, yeah, that the government's socializing 3% of every business.
Right.
Wow, that's a terrible idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, at that point, this is kind of like the bailout of the automobile companies. The government never really they weren't managing the auto companies. They just owned a percentage of stock, if that makes sense. But many of them, they were forced into it. Like Ford had to do it.
Well,
I think
there was
Ford
that one
didn't do
company
it.
that refused the money.
I think it was Ford that refused the money.
Yeah.
Some of them were forced into situations they did not want to do. I think it was
forced. I mean, they weren't forced. They were like having financial trouble, and they were offered a bailout. So it was either that or sell off your assets to the lowest or the highest bidder. You go bankrupt.
I think I'm thinking of Wells Fargo, who was not interested in a bailout but got one there. So I might be confusing some of my major companies.
Okay. Well, Wells Fargo just got hit with $1 billion fine for some nonsense or whatever.
Shady practices.
Some shady practice. Anyway, go ahead, Johnson.
So here's where the article is going to take a sharp turn towards the weird. So this author, Ben Schiller, is apparently maybe leaving Fast Company because he's starting his own magazine about the blockchain.
A magazine or an online website called a magazine?
Probably both.
Because I can't imagine why anyone would start a magazine
these
today.
day and age. Who knows?
I just don't understand.
Yeah, but
they are dying.
But this article it takes this turn here and says blockchain can help. Blockchain technology could offer a way to divide of publicly owned infrastructure, so it's genuinely publicly owned. We could issue tokenized securities in the assets around us, giving everyone a stake in their environment.
Can I sell mine?
Are we tokenizing?
They could then trade those tokens on exchanges like they were cryptocurrencies, or use the tokens as collateral on loans. For example.
Do you understand what a terrible idea this is? Okay.
To give people
how
a
long
piece
before somebody just
This is
buys
not
it all
by
up?
any stretch of the imagination some kind of greeny plan to help the poor and the environment. This is a full-on corporate takeover of the whole planet. Okay, what this jackhole wants to do is to take land, water, and air, tokenize them on the blockchain, give them to poor, irresponsible nimrods who will then hawk them for crack and immediately own.
Are we talking about water and air, or are we talking about government buildings and schools or roads?
Probably both.
Okay.
Those things too.
This sounds
So
so
it goes on to
complicated.
say, for example, if cities and towns develop new solar-powered microgrids, shares in the projects could be issued to residents, say Michael Casey and Paul Vigna in their new book, The Truth Machine, The Blockchain and the Future of Everything. Residents would have the right to buy energy from the project as well as to trade the asset to their neighbors. This may be how we confront the future as owners of our personal stakes in the common good. The authors write, some early stage versions of this already exist, like Project Ubu. I don't know what that is. Marina Gorbis, executive director of the Institute for the Future, in Silicon Valley argues that basic income payments are insufficient for fixing inequality. The real source of economic divergence isn't that some
Nobody
people
ever said that the basic income is going to fix inequality. The only proposal that basic income proposes to do is to give somebody a check every single month of a flat amount across the board, in supposedly to make up for the fact that they might not have work from this
and they may quit
scary
their,
future.
You know, instead of having 2 jobs, which they're working now, and they're not going to take that additional income and use it to drag themselves out of whatever, you know, circumstances they're in. They may just quit one of their jobs
and just live off of that.
Equality's a goblin. I mean, it's just
it can't be achieved.
Well, let's say it was. Let's say tomorrow we take all the assets in the world, all the wealth in the world, and we divide it up equally among 7.5 billion people.
Yeah.
Then what's going to happen in the next year?
It'll all move around, and
it'll begin to move around. Some people will,
spend it wisely,
save their money, and some people will squander it.
Yep.
Some people will consume, as much as they possibly can consume. Others will produce in order to fill that consumption
people
gap.
in vice industries that would probably make for the worst possible world of all, because people who are in things that take advantage of people the most are going to be the ones that profit first.
Sure, because everybody out there that's got a drug habit's going to go blow it all instantly, and and they go to strip clubs.
Undertakers and people and makers of extra large coffins would rake it in.
855-450 free like freedom. 855-450-3733. You can share your thoughts with us on Free Talk Live.
Frustrated trying to get business capital? Want to take the slow process and rejection out of the equation? GCNloans.com removes the slow, irritating approval process. Instead, get quick, simple funding. Powered by David Allen Capital, 80% of our pre-qualified clients are approved in days. Pre-qualify at GCNloans.com and get your money this week. It's that easy. GCNloans.com. That's GCNloans.com.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves. You can bring up anything that you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And the Skype username is lrn.fm. Also, our Discord on-air call-in line room is available to you. In fact, that's where we're going to be going to next. You can go to discord.lrn.fm to hop in there once it's available, of course, and then we'll get you on the radio. And you can talk about whatever you want. Also, I do want to let you know about Bitcoin.com. They've got a mining pool there. If you've been thinking about getting into mining cryptocurrency, maybe you want to do Bitcoin Core, or you want to do the new Bitcoin Cash, it's up to you. You get to choose which Bitcoin to mine there over at pool.bitcoin.com. It's super easy to get into. You don't need to know the technical side of mining. It's just you put in your investment, the amount of money that you want to put in to buy you a certain amount of mining power, and then you just let it go. And you watch and wait and see what kind of returns come in down the line.
They're pretty steady. I mean, it's not like, you
get a certain amount every day.
It's not like watching a horse race or something.
Yeah, I don't check it in. I don't check in with it very often. You're kind of locked in for a contract, and it comes in. Yeah. So go and learn more about it over at pool.bitcoin.com. But if you do like to check, there's charts and you can download stuff to look at. Pool.bitcoin.com as we continue here. As we go to the Discord on-air call-in line room, we've been talking about universal basic assets. I know you've got more on the story, right, Johnson, from Fast Company. Oh, sorry about that. Now you're back.
Just a little bit.
And now Vaginitarian is joining us on the Discord chat.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
I wanted to talk about the universal basic assets or income or whatever it is. This is one of those issues where the sentiment behind it is, very emotionally charged, just like gun control or tearing down statues or what have you.
Yeah, people could lose their jobs. That's very emotional.
Right. It starts with the premise that people are losing jobs.
Or will.
Yeah. Or that there's such a vast disparity, and there is a vast disparity between the poor of the world and the world's wealthiest top 1%, what have you. But the answer to that is not an oversimplification in universal basic income, because when you create this equality of outcome in like everybody gets the same amount every month, that is the same line as, Soviet Russia or communist China, and we all know how that ended. So it blows my mind that people will bring this idea up with, the heated emotion behind it, unable to draw that parallel. And maybe
it's the same idea as you're pointing out, repackaged for a new audience. I mean, essentially, they're pitching communism or socialism to a younger generation, right? People who have not seen reality yet. They don't understand economics, and they certainly don't understand the history of central control and
let's not forget the people who really haven't made their own way in the world up to this point, and some group of people, i.e. mom and dad, have paid for pretty much all of their foibles, desires, whatever it might be.
Oh, absolutely. And then the second point I'll make on it is when you take away all of the incentive and all of the job, by giving people an income that they can supposedly live off, whatever a living wage is, people lose their production interest and value. And I mean, I don't really believe in the whole American ideal of I want to work my butt off to retire so I can go sit on a beach and drink beers all day. Because even as great as that is, that's going to get boring after like 2 weeks, and I'm going to need something to do, something to pursue. Like, life is all about living and learning for all of whatever you get. So I can't believe that the idea that we should hand out money so that people have more opportunity in life, it's just it's a non-starter. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you're right. The opposite will be the case. I mean, while there may be a small portion of people who do put that $1,000 a month or whatever to some sort of productive means, it will, for the most part, as you pointed out, disincentivize work. It will disincentivize people from being as productive as they can be. And if productivity is reduced as a result of this, that is ultimately going to, I think, hurt people and hurt society.
Yeah, I think it's hurting them now, just like Mark said. If they are brought up with everything handed to them, and then they go into universities and they get these degrees, and then they can't even enter the workforce because there is no equality of opportunity. There's just this equality of outcome. Then it's just that downward spiral of they're never going to be productive assets to society.
Well, now, of course, the fear is that they wouldn't even have a chance to, because the robots are going to eliminate all jobs. What do you think about that fear-mongering kind of future?
I find it really interesting. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts on the AIs going to take over, and I think it's a technology that we might see come to fruition in our lifetimes, but I don't know that they're going to take over humanity. I'm not a believer in that yet, but I think it's an interesting concept that people shouldn't ignore.
I'm curious as to how robots, like at this, I get robots might be able to drive cars in the next 5 or 10 years.
We're on the cusp of that now.
And we might see that. And robot manufacturing, where robots are, almost entirely eliminate the human aspect from the manufacturing line. All right. I can see some of that. Robots that cook burgers and those sorts of things, and maybe even deliver the burger to the counter. It's possible, I suppose, that you could cut fast food staff by 50, 75%, something like that. I can see that happening in 10 years or something. Salespeople, somebody to customer
Sell
service,
product,
somebody to walk, like at this point, customers, telephone customer service, people just immediately get on the phone and start pressing 0 to talk to an operator,
Yes, that's true. And also, remember when the grocery stores started putting in the automated checkouts, and then some of them took it back out because they got such pushback from their customers of, hey, we actually want to talk to somebody. We want to look somebody in the eye. Now, not everybody does.
A lot of them are adding them back in, though.
Some of them do. Yeah, right, because there are some people who don't want to talk to somebody. Right. So they figured out that there's a balance between both of those things.
God help you if you're buying produce or wine.
It also depends on how, well those things actually work. So if they don't function well, of course people are going to want to get rid of them. It's like, I don't want to run my own groceries if it's going to take longer. And, but now that they've done some things to make them faster, then it makes sense to have those, and especially if you could have a bunch of people checking out faster. Well, it's kind of like roundabouts.
Isn't it true that the history of technology in the workplace is a history of fear of being displaced, right? Like you look at automation, the Henry Ford, and automated manufacturing.
The buggy whip manufacturers,
right.
There's been out of business.
Right. There's been plenty car manufacturers putting the horse companies out of business. Right. There's been plenty of examples of this technological advance that has resulted in some people losing their jobs, but those people being people and being able to adapt and learn new skills can go out there and get new jobs or create new businesses, become entrepreneurs, open up, if the government lets them, open up their own business and create a new opportunity for somebody else to get a job. So, I mean, for all the fear about people losing their jobs from automation and robots, it hasn't really, it hasn't come about yet. Now, that's not to say that they can't say, well, this is really going to be bad because now robots are going to replace everybody, because robots, it was one thing when they could do one simple task like a robot arm in a factory. Now we're talking about humanoid robots who can do absolutely everything that a human being can or whatever without having to stop for breaks, without having to eat, without having to go to the bathroom or go get a cigarette or whatever. And so the fear is like that now is the time when we really need to be scared.
My wife and I were looking at countertops the other day, and I was sort of struck by the pointlessness, the nihilism of countertops.
Tell me about that.
Here you have all different kinds of countertops,
colors, and
you can have
types.
it made of granite. You can have it made of this quartz.
Corian.
Yeah, this quartz thing they make it out of, corian, formica, wood, butcher block, a whole variety.
We have wonderful choices in the
lots
marketplace.
and lots and lots of different choices. It seems odd to me that people wouldn't want choices in the future, and one of those choices is going to be artisan made. This is human-produced. This is a human-produced countertop, not a robot-produced countertop. And I suspect that'll be
for that crap.
meaningful to people. I expect that it'll get a premium. Just a guess.
Right. Vaginitarian, did you have more, or were you all set?
No, I'm good.
All
Thanks.
right, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. That clears out the Discord on-air call-in line room for you, should you wish to join us here on the radio at discord.lrn.fm or on the phones. It's Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
You have been lied to, generation after generation, time after time after time.
If you follow the money, then you understand why America's in the condition it's in.
You created the Federal Reserve in 1913 through lies. You create 9/11. Through 9/11, you're fighting a war on terror, and now all of a sudden you go into Iraq, which was another lie.
This book will open people's eyes. Pre-order now at KillingUncleSamBook.com. KillingUncleSamBook.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Bring up what you want. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. We're talking about the ridiculous idea of universal basic income, or now repackaging of the same idea as universal basic assets, which, as I understand, the pitch so far is to basically create some more taxes and then give people money, as opposed to like just printing the money and then giving it to them. Either way, you're still doing damage economically. You're still using central control to force money from the wealthy into the hands of the poor. And as Mark pointed out earlier, even if you were to just go ahead and snap your fingers and magically cast a spell to allow everybody to all of a sudden have the exact same amount of money around the globe, the next month or few months down the road, all that will have changed because everybody doesn't handle their money in the same way. And that's one of the reasons why there are such discrepancies out there. But we're going to continue with that.
And it's just a way to continue to defend these, systematic layers and upon layers of aggression and violence against peaceful people in order to, prop up this ridiculous economic system that we have now, rather than competition.
Yes, and we're going to get into that. There's more. In fact, Ray Kurzweil is saying that he believes this universal basic income concept is an inevitability given the future. We'll talk about that coming up here in moments, and your calls and thoughts are also welcome. Now, something that you can control in your life is whether or not you get involved in cryptocurrency. We've talked a lot about Bitcoin over the years here on Free Talk Live, but there are some others that are out there, and there's a lot of choices. There are almost 1,600 other cryptocurrencies in the marketplace today. And most of them aren't worth talking about. But Zencash is definitely worth looking into, especially if you consider yourself a voluntarist or a libertarian, somebody who is a liberty-loving anarchist. You love freedom. This is really a great crypto for you to take a close look at. They actually, in their white paper, refer to voluntarism on more than one occasion in the white paper, which is pretty awesome. But beyond that, they've also got some of the great tech out there like zero knowledge anonymity. You want to talk about some of the best anonymous private currencies out there? Zencash is one of them, and they've got more than 8,000 secure nodes on their system, making it one of the most secure networks of any cryptocurrency. So go and do your due diligence, do some research, learn about Zencash over at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. As we continue here, we've actually got Will Coley on the line with us here. He's the host of The Call to Freedom. Go ahead, Will.
Hey, what's up, guys? So as far as this whole thing about artisan made, and we're already seeing it now. I literally live next door to a business that their entire shtick is we only sell local artisan made products. You see it in Pennsylvania at flea markets and open air markets, and those are the products that they're known for having the highest quality and the highest prices. You know, when I bought stuff for my daughters this year to keep their ears warm, you know, something as simple as a toboggan. Mm-hmm. I could go to Walmart and buy a machine-made one for 98 cents. It's very simple, it's thin, it's quick, and it's not particularly well made. So in a few weeks, we're buying a new one. Or I can go right next door and get an artisan-made one, and she'll probably give that one to her kids.
Right.
That is, artisan-made products are almost invariably better quality, longer, and because of that, people are going to continue to either buy antiques, like I do quite often, or made by hand because it's almost always a better quality. So there will always be a market for
handcrafted
artisans, handcraft, tradesmen, craftsmen, people who can do things and do it well with their hands. That will always exist. The question is, are you as an individual willing to put the effort that is necessary to provide a superior product that's worth that money? And I'm sorry, but the average American simply is not.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people want the easy way out, and so they just want a job, they just want to work, or not work at all. And as we're seeing in the cases of these people who are demanding the universal basic income, they'd really just rather sit around and get high all day.
I'm also seeing, what sort of a level of expectation that comes with sort of being an American, and I don't know whether it's watching television or what brought us to this level of expectation. But you were talking about artisan-made products, and when I was a kid, most of the furniture in our house was furniture that had one point belonged to some other family member. The tables, the dressers, all these things, they were high quality. As a matter of fact, my mother still has some of them. This is high quality stuff, but it was handed down. People kind of moved it around, and you didn't say to yourself, wow, I've got to have the IKEA. Everything in the house has to be done by IKEA. It has to be, there's a certain vichyssoise about this house. Like, there's none of that, right? Like, you had a chair so you could sit on it, and it may not have matched everything that was there, in the house or whatever perfectly, but this is how my other friends' houses were too. So nobody really ever thought about it, I don't think. At least this is how it was for me where I was growing up. Maybe other people listening didn't have it this way. But I think we now have an expectation that we're going to have all, matching furniture and the flooring and the crown molding and everything that goes into this. Stuff all has tremendous cost and maintenance, and it gets torn out every 10 years now, it seems like, and somebody redoes it.
Will, any other comments you want to share?
No, that was it. Like I said, I was just trying to back Mark up and point out that it's already something that we're seeing happening in the marketplace now. But the guy who's flipping burgers at McDonald's, he doesn't want to put enough effort into a skill to make the money that's necessary. So they're going to need free money from the government, or they're all going to starve to death.
Thanks for the call tonight. Will Coley, host of The Call to Freedom. You can check out his show on LRN.FM. Every single day during the week. So check that out. It's 3 to 7 Eastern Time, 5 days a week. As we continue here, your calls and thoughts, certainly welcome. Let's go to Franz. He's in Washington. Franz, you're on Free Talk Live.
Good evening. I just wanted to remind people of the YouTube video that was released a couple of years back. It was called Planetopolis.
Planetopolis.
About Planetopolis.
Okay. What was it about?
Planet. It was about taking people out of the countryside and putting them all into smart cities. And the most insidious part of it was, in my opinion, that you would have to share your apartment, and you would lease all kitchen utensils and everything else in your apartment.
I think if I recall, maybe I don't recall this, but I recall something where they sort of had these ideas. The apartment would have a kitchen that spun around like every 6 hours or something, so you would only have access to the kitchen, at every 6 hours or whatever. And so your unit would not have the plumbing fixture. I mean, it would have toilets or whatever, but the kitchen would move around. I don't know how this was supposed to save money. Kitchens don't cost that much.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. When I was buying refrigerators and things like that, I was buying a used refrigerator for $100. What could they possibly be? $150 now?
I have not seen this Planetopolis video, but I mean, just the first thing that you said about it there, Franz, just makes me think. Knowing people who live out in the rural areas. Why would those people ever want to move into an urban area like that? I mean, they live out in the rural areas because they appreciate open spaces. They don't want to be closed in with people.
Yes, the state would make them move out.
It'd be forced. So it'd be like putting them in a ghetto, basically.
Yeah.
So the idea is that cities. So we're told by the the eco warlords out there that
the central planners,
central planners, the eco central planners, that cities are more environmentally conscious or whatever it is. I don't know exactly, and that stacking people up in little high rises like cocktail sandwiches. That is the
what
best.
A ridiculous claim. I mean, look, anybody can. Do you feel like you're environmentally conscious inside a city where you almost never see a forest or anything like that? You don't see a stream. You don't see any kind of like outdoorsy, woodsy kind of things. Like, to me, that's when you feel like you're in touch with the environment, is when you're outside of cities. Hey, thanks for the call tonight, Franz. I appreciate hearing from you. And the number here, if you want to join us, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And there's our Skype username as well. If you want to join us there, Skype username LRN.FM. Plus, the Discord on-air call-in line room. We'll talk a little bit more about basic income here. Universal basic income, universal basic assets, which is another repackaging, basically, of the same concept. And that's what you're going to see, is all these brilliant thinkers or whatever coming up with ways to use violence to try to mold society in the way they think it should be molded in the future. There's more coming up here. And Hour 3 is next. It's Free Talk Live.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, April 24th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.63 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,325 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $36, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,331. Antiwar.com reports CIA Director Mike Pompeo is on track to become the next Secretary of State after the Senate Foreign Relations Committee voted to approve him 11-9. All Republicans voted in favor, and Senator Chris Coons voted present. Senator Rand Paul was the real deciding vote, having switched sides after opposing Pompeo. Democratic Senator Coons had also initially voted no, but changed to present as a courtesy because Senator Johnny Isakson was not present and voted by proxy. Isakson's vote would have made it 11-10, but only 10-10 among present voters, which would have forced Isakson to drive back from a funeral for a second vote. Paul's change was a surprise to almost everyone. However, Senator Paul cited multiple conversations with President Trump. During the meetings, Trump assured him that he believes the Iraq War was a mistake and that the U.S. must leave Afghanistan, and that Pompeo agrees with him. President Trump has publicly expressed these positions in the past. Despite that, he's done nothing to end either of the wars. In fact, President Trump announced in August that he'd changed his mind on Afghanistan since becoming president. He said this in the process of announcing a substantial escalation of that war. Paul's reversal prevented Pompeo from becoming the first nominee since 1925 to not get the Senate panel's approval. Without Monday's vote, it was also very likely that his nomination would have failed outright, while now it appears certain. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports a former Texas Juvenile Center employee who stole $1.2 million worth of fajitas was sentenced to 50 years in prison for theft by a public servant. Visiting State District Judge Manuel Benales ordered the 50-year sentence for Gilberto Escamilla, who admitted to using taxpayer money to buy fajita meat and sell it for profit while working as a purchaser for Darrell B. Hester Juvenile Detention Center. An audit report revealed Escamilla managed to shave $1,251,578 from food purchases for 9 years undetected. Escamilla was arrested in 2017 after $800 worth of fajitas, which the facility does not serve, were delivered while he was away from work at a doctor's appointment. Escamilla said in his testimony, "It was selfish. It started small and got bigger and out of control. It got to the point where I couldn't control it anymore." Cameron County Assistant District Attorney Peter Gilman asked the judge to issue the lengthy sentence to prevent other public servants from committing similar acts. Gilman said, "We feel a strong message should be sent." For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports police on Monday arrested the man suspected of fatally shooting 4 people at a Waffle House restaurant, ending a 36-hour manhunt after tips from the public led police to search secluded woods nearby. Photos posted online by Nashville police showed Travis Ranking, a 29-year-old construction worker, in custody. He was suspected of opening fire with an assault rifle at a restaurant early Sunday, then fleeing the scene naked. Photographed in the back of a police car, he looked disheveled and was wearing a torn red shirt and dirty blue jeans. He had scratches on his shoulder. No motive was known for the attack that sent shudders throughout one of the biggest cities in the U.S. South and stoked a simmering national debate on gun control. More than 150 city, state, and local law enforcement agents searched for the gunman, who has had a history of bizarre behavior, delusions, and multiple encounters with authorities, including an episode in Washington in July 2017 when he was arrested for trying to get into the White House, according to police reports. Tips from people in the neighborhood helped lead police to search through the woods about 2 miles from the restaurant using sniffer dogs on the ground and aircraft overhead. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
I know I shouldn't, but these muffins are delicious.
And we'll share our favorite recipes later in the hour, but first our guest says, don't give in to road rage. Stay calm behind the wheel and coolly plot your road revenge. Danny Preston is a defensive driving instructor who teaches people how to control their temper behind the wheel. Welcome, Danny.
Thanks for having me.
Danny, there's nothing I hate more than getting cut off.
That drives me nuts. I want to scream out my window.
Getting into an argument with a stranger isn't going to accomplish anything but stress you out.
Well, how should you respond instead?
In 1996, some guy gave me the middle finger after I cut him off. I recognized him from TV. That's when I decided to become a defensive driving instructor, developing the skills I needed to eventually be invited on his show as an expert. Now, once you're there, it's just a simple matter of switching out his muffins with the ones you made yourself. How many did you eat?
What? I don't know.
Thank you so much for sharing your tips, Danny.
Danny is not my true name.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves. You can bring up anything that you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, as we launch into the third hour of the program. We are talking about a conversation, a topic that is likely going to continue ad infinitum into the future. And I'm not excited by it because, it's so economically ignorant.
It's cognitive dissonance on parade. It's just more people trying to find more complicated ways to express how they're going to hide violence from you.
The violence of forced wealth redistribution is the violence in this case. And the program's name is now going to be Universal Basic Income or Universal Basic Assets.
It's stealing from people in the name of helping everyone.
Basically, that sums it up.
Yeah, it's always, like, what's the excuse? We're going to help the world by threatening someone with guns. That's, it's just the same old, it's this sort of meme that's been around since the beginning of time is stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, or stealing from someone to help, stealing from one person to another to give to another. It's just this idea that
stealing from the person who
that
earned
aggression
it
is going to fix things.
Yeah.
It's this idea that violence is the way to make the world go around,
and that makes things fair.
Right.
Sticking a gun in somebody's face is for good somehow. It's just a crazy concept.
It's all. I mean, the idea that violence, builds things. I mean,
no, this destroys.
Not in net.
This destroys so much. It destroys the incentive to earn in the first place, because if you know you're just going to get taxed, then why would you want to be an achiever? Why would you want to stay even in that place? Why would you even, live in a place where you knew you were going to be taxed to death? And that's why you see a lot of productive people leaving places like New York State, which is, the worst state, the most taxed state. Move somewhere else, move your business somewhere else where you will receive less violence directed towards you. And so it would not only will it disincentivize, as taxes do disincentivize productivity from the productive, it would also incentivize the lazy to be even lazier, because now they're going to get a check every single month. And why should they bother to work if they can just get $1,000 check every single month? And so that means less productivity in the workplace, and that means less wealth for all of us.
Well, I'm sure there are, garbage bin plumbers, tree trimmers, and a whole bunch of other people out there that arborists that love their jobs. But there are plenty, like most, I would imagine, that would be like, I'll show up at a different time. It'd be a lot easier. Like, work is called work for a reason. It isn't the greatest thing in the world that you feel like you could be doing. There's a reason they pay you for your time.
Do what you love, man.
Well, doing what you love is awesome if you can get paid for it. I certainly can't sit here on the radio on a show that I've built over the course of 15-something years along with you guys, and say that you shouldn't follow dreams. Certainly that worked out for me. But at the same time, we've all had to work in order to, work other jobs in order to make this thing a reality, right? Like, it didn't just spring from the head of Zeus on 185 radio stations.
Yeah, I worked a lot of hours to make this possible.
You worked for years, completely unpaid, doing this to get it off the ground. I didn't start. You started in 2004. Well, yes, I guess I'm talking about when we decided to go to get syndicated. But when we decided to get syndicated, you took the time.
We started this show in 2002 on a radio station for no pay.
But we kind of walked in, turned on the mics, and everything was there. You had to build a studio in 2004 when we got syndicated.
Did you start syndication after podcasting?
No, we started podcasting in 2005, but we had archives from day one of the show.
Because podcasting started in 2003.
I thought it started in 2005.
2003.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we had darn early on the curve, I can tell you that.
We had archives before we had an RSS feed. So, we had archives from day number one.
Right.
Back in the real radio days on Free Talk Live in 2002. Just downloadable MP3s. We had to go to the website to get them. The only difference with the podcast is it's delivered automatically to somebody.
So you went from somewhere in late 2004 to somewhere in late 2006 without any kind of pay, making calls every day to radio stations, trying to get them to carry the show, handling all the blinking boxes in every issue that came up in the interim. So, yeah, you put a lot of time in.
So anyway, we were talking about this basic... assets, universal basic assets, which you said there was a little more you wanted to share from Fast Company.
Let's just plow through the rest of this and
we'll see what Kurzweil has to say.
The idea. Here, Marina Gorbis, executive director of the Institute for the Future in Silicon Valley, argues that basic income payments are insufficient for fixing inequality. She says the real source of economic divergence isn't that some people have jobs and others don't. She says it's that some people own assets like houses, stocks, and whatever, while others don't. She calls for capturing assets that we currently give away, like our personal data that Google and Facebook exploit for billions. She wants more cooperatives and employee stock-owned companies that hand value to workers rather than shareholders, and more community-owned communication systems and utilities. IFTF's map of universal basic assets includes several examples of assets that could be collectively owned via blockchains, including cooperatively owned versions of Uber and eBay.
All right, so just before we go on here, what she's proposing, hey, look, if you want to buy into a co-op, go right ahead, buy into a co-op.
Right.
If you want to get some stock in a company, go get some stock in a company. I can't imagine how unwieldy it would be to have a community-owned water company or a community-owned power company. I don't want to go to board meetings about power and water. I don't want to pay attention to all of the micromanagement.
The community will not manage it. A few very interested, vocal people will manage it.
Yeah, and if I were interested in that, I'd get involved in it. So is she talking about forcing these companies to go to this community-owned structure? In which case, she's talking about taking, this is the worker's dream, right? This is the communist, socialist revolution where the workers rise up and they seize the companies and they take over. She's talking about that's what she's talking about.
Sounds kind of like it. I mean, here's the last sort of gist of this is, at bottom, the idea of UBA seeks new ways to raise money without resorting to new taxes. It's about opening up assets and bringing the market into more areas of life, empowering individuals and recognizing...
Opening up assets.
Yeah, and recognizing
That's code word. Hold on.
Yeah.
That's a code word for, we're going to take this from you and we're going to give it to them.
Right.
It's open now.
I'd like to point out that employee-owned businesses do very well if they are sort of taken over once it's up and running. So if you get a manufacturing place that's having some trouble and they're going to shut down, the employees say, well, we can handle this and we can take this over. They often do very well because at that point everybody's concerned about everybody else's productivity, and people understand how things, there's this institutional memory in place. People understand how to do things.
It can be done. I mean, Publix is a great example of, it's a grocery store for people who don't know, in the southeast in the United States, and it's a great grocery store. I mean, I've never met anybody who's like, I hate Publix.
Actually, I've been talking to somebody who moved to Florida from Keene over the past year. Went down to teach, and I was like singing the praises of Publix.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, it's like Whole Foods, but more expensive.
Well, I mean, Publix
is not more expensive than Whole Foods.
It didn't used to be.
No, my
Apparently
wife just came from Florida last week. The person about whom you were speaking is talking about, a particular can of artisan olives there.
Maybe.
Artisan, the show, the
I
word
was
of
a
the
little
show.
taken aback too.
No, she's wrong.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. My wife shops at both Whole Foods and Publix, and this person is talking about one particular item and
but
getting
my about Publix is that it is an employee-owned company, and it's one of the things that makes it unique in the world of grocery stores in a lot of cases. I mean, there's certainly union grocery stores out there, but there aren't, I don't think, very many employee-owned ones that are that successful, and Publix is tremendously successful, but they weren't forced to be employee-owned. And if this woman's talking about opening up assets, she's talking about the government forcing these businesses to become collectively owned.
Maybe. I don't know.
All right, we got more coming up here, and Ray Kurzweil is getting ready to weigh in here on a piece about universal basic income. He says it's inevitable. We'll share that with you on the way here, and you can take control of the airwaves on Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
From the third letter of Captain Mark. The Crown's observation conditions us to be dishonest with ourselves. Therefore, constant surveillance produces a society of constant deception. Honest communication is the seed of civilized conduct. To deny us this seed is to deny us its fruits. But the Crown's primary objective is to stifle free thought itself, to make its subjects incapable of dissent. Seasoned pirates have always encrypted messages and codes and ciphers, so intercepted transmissions were incomprehensible. But today, the Crown possesses advanced tools of pattern recognition that document, profile, and predict our every move. Today, piracy requires hailing frequencies completely invisible to the Crown. We are tired of poltergeists in the static. Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels, or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Hollywood's biggest stars are rallying for a good cause this week with the Save Our Children campaign. Celebs like Jessica Simpson, Brad Pitt, and Gwyneth Paltrow headlined a charity event to help their suffering kids who desperately need a chance to live a normal life. Angelina Jolie talked to Starfix about the charity, saying, quote, "You don't have to be a mother to want to help my children, many of whom are not getting a proper education. If you look at the numbers, 1 in 5 of my children will struggle with drug problems." Joining us now is a representative from the charity, Julie Harrison. Julie, it was such a great cause.
Absolutely. We're talking about children who don't have any positive role models. They're born into a life they didn't ask for, and if the state's not going to step up and help these kids, it's time someone did something.
Here's a quote from Victoria Beckham, and I found this powerful. "It breaks my heart to think about these kids living somewhere in my house with no hope for a happy future. Who knows if they even have food to eat?" Julie, according to your group's website, a staggering number of STARS children are being exploited growing up without parents.
Right.
This is the Onion News Network.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves. You can bring up whatever is on your mind here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. Skype username is lrn.fm. And in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
Liberty.menu. Libertarians for a long time have been asking for a good website that works to connect liberty-minded business owners with potential customers who are also of a liberty mindset. And for a long time, there were some lackluster efforts out there and it really wasn't worth talking about them. But now there's a site that actually does it, and it does it well. And it looks good while doing it, and it's easy to use. And most importantly, it's free to list your business over at liberty.menu. You go to liberty.menu. It is a tool for the liberty community, for people who reject the initiation of force and those individuals who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. So if you're somebody who believes in basic income, you don't belong on liberty.menu. Okay, so this is only for libertarians, voluntarists, liberty-loving anarchist types. Go to liberty.menu and you can list your business there. Maybe you got more than one entrepreneurial thing that you do. List them all. Or perhaps you are an event coordinator. Perhaps you are a digital content creator. there are categories for you as well. So whatever it is that you do or create, if you're a liberty-minded person, you are going to love liberty.menu. There's also, of course, ratings and reviews. So if you've actually been to a certain liberty-oriented business that might be in your area, you can rate it, review it. You can also do a little social networking there as well. And it's all free. If you want to, of course, you can upgrade your listings for a little bit, and it's not very expensive. Liberty.menu. Get on over there and use code FTL. You'll get a special Free Talk Live listener badge at liberty.menu. As we continue here, Johnson, you had just a couple more lines from this story that you wanted to share about universal basic assets, which is essentially a retooling and repackaging of universal basic income by people who want to feel like they've got a better idea. Okay. Go ahead.
Presupposedly, this idea by this Institute for the Future in Silicon Valley is that the bottom of the idea is that UBA seeks new ways to raise money without resorting to new taxes, supposedly.
Except the other guy talked about a carbon tax.
Yeah, some of these other people.
So, well, they're not going to call it a tax.
And again, remember, these are all ideas from different organizations. So what the IFTF's idea of, universal basic assets versus what, Project Ubu or this, other guy at IPPR, the think tank in the UK, and what Peter Barnes' supposed entrepreneurs' ideas of this might be different. But
sure, it's not taxing when you just take a company from a person and then give it to their employees.
Well, this one here from IFTF says, this opening up assets, which may or may not be code word for stealing these assets, but they say empowering individuals and recognizing that the public goods that we currently give away to corporations. Again, they brought up personal data that like people like Google and Facebook are making a bunch of money on, and that they're just being handed. Is there a way that could be somehow commoditized by individuals into some sort of a cryptocurrency or something like that?
Sounds confusing. But,
Sounds confusing.
Maybe.
Who knows?
The idea
if it's the government doing it, no, it'll be a disaster.
She goes on to say some form of UBA may be a more viable way to achieve universal basic. Some form of universal basic assets may be a more viable way to achieve universal basic income than relying on taxpayers or Congress to do their worst.
So agreed.
It's going to be bad any way you slice it.
If somebody comes up with a social media platform that serves people as well as Facebook does, and then allows people to control their and sell their own information, because I want certain advertisers to have my information at certain times. I want that. I want to know who's got the best pig feed out there, right?
Yeah.
I want to know who's got the best seeds in the springtime. I want to, when I'm looking for a car, I want to know who's got the best gas mileage, and I want to know that information. People who say, I hate advertising, really don't understand what they consume on a day-to-day basis. And they don't hate advertising. They hate the advertising that they didn't want to see at that particular time.
Right.
And so...
You like getting things for free? You like advertising in that case.
Yeah. Advertising is education.
Learn to like it.
If it's done well.
Yeah.
And obviously...
Or entertaining.
You have sometimes. That much is true. But I'm not sure that's really advertising. That's just being entertained.
It's branding.
It's branding, sure. I mean,
that's advertising.
I guess. But, like, for instance, I watched a Summer's Eve ad recently.
Douche.
It's a feminine wash, I think. And it was about, I think it was Hail the V. And I just put it up on my Facebook page saying, this is the most honest ad that I've ever seen. So basically it says, it's the cradle of civilization. It's been fought over by men and armies for centuries. Give it a little love, girls. And then Summer's Eve. I think it's a very entertaining ad.
That's cute.
I love it, but I'm never going to buy this product. Never, ever.
What if
ever.
your wife sent you to the store and she needed you to get a package of Summer's Eve? Would you do it?
I would do, sure. I mean,
well,
that's
then you'd
ridiculous.
buy it if she asked you to.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing. I'm not buying it because they're not advertising
their
to
target
me.
Demographic. That's right.
Right. So it's not advertising if I have no business consuming it.
Okay.
So anyway.
Well, it's still advertising. It's just hit the wrong target in that case.
Sure did.
They bought a broadcast channel.
But it's very entertaining.
Wait, you saw it online or on television?
I knew that it existed, and I wanted to show it to my wife. Yeah.
I see. All right, so toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. You can join us here. You can bring up whatever you want. Kurzweil. Johnson, you also brought this, what I would call related story in here tonight. And I have it here from hackernoon.com. The piece written by Michael K. Spencer. He says, I grew up reading about the technological singularity, which we've talked about here on Free Talk Live, and apparently it's coming with a fair probability of it occurring between 2029 and 2045. And do one of you want to take a crack at describing what the singularity is for people who have not heard of this concept before?
The singularity would be the moment that all the computers kind of hook up together into one major consciousness?
No.
Oh.
It's the moment at which computer intelligence reaches parity with human intelligence.
Okay.
Right. Basically, that at that point, the computers will no longer need humans to upgrade themselves. They can then essentially kind of take over their own programming, and AI and all that will essentially escalate far beyond the human potential to. And
it's not like they're trapped in CPU boxes or anything like that. At that point, they own and control. They control. I guess own is probably not the right word. They control robot arms that can produce new computers. So the computer that's smart as a human then makes a computer that is twice as smart as a human, who then makes
in
a computer
half the time makes
that is
another one
4 times as smart as a human, and pretty quickly they're just replicating until they have this being that is as smart as a being can be by whatever standards that we could make
something
them.
Or something. So the singularity is step 1 in that process, right? Yeah. So who is Ray Kurzweil? Well, he's Google's director of engineering. He's a well-known futurist with a high-hitting track record for accurate predictions. Of his 147 predictions since the 1990s, Kurzweil claims an 86% accuracy rate. Now, it would be better if somebody else could audit his claims, and rather than trusting his own claims. But anyway, basic income, they say, will be widespread by the 2030s, according to Kurzweil, one of the most recognizable futurists on Earth. And we'll continue here with, ostensibly why he believes that. And your calls and thoughts are certainly welcome. You can take control of the airwaves here at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And the reason why this is going to keep coming up is because of big tech people like this pushing these ideas. This is not going to go away anytime soon. And that's a scary thought. It's Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
You have been lied to, generation after generation, time after time after time.
If you follow the money, then you understand why America's in the condition it's in.
You created the Federal Reserve in 1913 through lies. You create 9/11. Through 9/11, then you're fighting a war on terror, and now all of a sudden you go into Iraq, which was another lie.
This book will open people's eyes. Pre-order now at killingunclesambook.com. killingunclesambook.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vedati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Free speech is protected on the internet, right? Not always. Government agencies try to limit free speech and commerce on the net. Luckily, when they do, the Institute for Justice is there to defend your First Amendment right to free speech. IJ helped set the first federal precedent for internet free speech in 1999, and ever since has worked to prevent unconstitutional roadblocks in cyberspace. Visit our website today at ij.org.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily. We bring you the Morning Roar. That's right, every Monday to Friday we'll have a brand new edition of the Morning Roar, where we provide a roundup of some news stories that you may not find in the mainstream media or even in your typical social media newsfeed. We find stories that relate to the ideas of liberty and provide you with our liberty perspective on them. Every Monday, we have our longest-running feature, Mondays with Murray, named after the great libertarian Murray Rothbard, where we'll examine an article or an excerpt from his works and help convey his view, along with our little spin as well. We wrap it all up every Friday with Felony Friday, where our own John Odermatt goes out and takes a look at some sort of felony. There's felonies committed every day, you know, whether it's a felony committed by the police, a politician, or even an average citizen. You can find all of this and so much more over at lionsofliberty.com. Advancing the ideas of liberty daily.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Yeah, it's Free Talk Live. You dial toll free. Join us right here if you want. Our number is 855-450. Free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Skype username is lrn.fm. Tonight it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Mark.
As we continue here, we'll go to your calls and thoughts about what you want. Let's go to Scott. He's in Bullhead City, Arizona, listening to K-Talks. Hello, Scott.
Hey, it's me.
Hi, Scott.
I have a couple questions.
Okay.
Well, one compliment first. Thank you for making people think.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We try so hard. We really do. I mean, that's for me, that's what the show's about.
Us libertarians on the West Coast are totally with you. I'm on the banks of the Colorado River in Bullhead City. They're having the Laughlin River Run this coming weekend if you can get on your Harleys and get here. I know it's a long way. Hey, fireman, what the hell?
I don't have a Harley, and I have no intention of driving across the United States anytime soon.
I got like I got a bicycle.
But thank you for the
Anyway,
invitation. So what else were you calling about tonight?
About this here,
The
what do you call it?
This here.
Where everybody gets $1,000.
Oh, the universal basic income, as they call it.
Yes. Are we talking about little Biafran babies with flies in their eyes?
What?
Or are we talking about Biafran babies with flies in their eyes? All them little Biafrans.
What is a Biafran baby? I've never heard that. I don't know what word that is.
You're kidding me.
There are three men in the studio here. Is anybody here?
I've got a guess.
I'm imagining it probably has something to do with Jello Biafra.
That's mine. My Jello Biafra.
That's what I was thinking.
But Jello Biafra is probably talking about Biafra as something to do with Africa and, you know.
Is he a commie? Biafra?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, is that who you were referring to?
The Republic of Biafra in West Africa.
I'm saying, are all the little babies going to get $1,000 around the world?
Oh, I see.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
at this
so
point,
this is,
the leftists that are proposing this at this point understand that we have geopolitical divides throughout the world, and
For just the price of a cup of coffee a day, you too.
No, the proposal here would be for the United States or some other country, so it would be in a geographic boundary. But your question is a good one. Would the $1,000 a month apply to everybody under a certain age, or would it be only for adults, or would it be, where would the cutoff?
It's for me. I think it's the best point when talking to people about the poor, right? So in the United States, The poor have cell phones, color TVs, cars, and a whole variety of air conditioning and all these other things. Around the world, people exist on things like $2 a day. That's what poor people are like.
Okay, here's the deal. Is it going to, if that ever happened, which I don't believe it will, would that affect my $1,200 a month Social Security check I get every month?
Good question. Are these proposals proposing to end all other forms of welfare at the same time?
Oh, man. See, that's why I listen to you guys, because you go beyond the call of duty and the brain.
Well, Scott, thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. And it's a good question. A couple of good questions there. Will this apply to children in the United States? Meaning, the more babies you pop out, do you get, a bunch of checks, or are those checks held in reserve for the child when they reach the legal age, or are they only they're only cutting checks when the person becomes age 18 or 21 or 16 or whatever it is? So we don't know what these proposals are. There's various different so-called, technological experts out there proposing these things, but nonetheless, these are good questions. Of course, I agree with Scott. I hope none of this comes to fruition. But it seems like one of those things that, the more you talk about a thing, the more you talk it into reality. And there's a lot of people that are talking
that's what this is about.
This thing.
It's acclimatizing you to the notion
of UBI.
Because they understand that this is going to take decades to get implemented.
Right.
But they're acclimatizing you to the notion.
They want people clamoring for it. They want people demanding this from these politicians.
Sure.
And so they're selling it. Hey, who wouldn't want $1,000 a month?
Well, you'll hear them talk about it from the other side, too, that they'll use it for minimum wage and a whole variety of things. Look, if you rich people don't do this, the poor are going to rise up. They're gonna rise up and pitchforks and torches, and they're gonna demand they're gonna take your wealth. They're gonna eat your children and take your wealth. I mean, the same people that couldn't hold on to private sector unions, that couldn't occupy parks without utter chaos a few years ago, pooping in the bushes, and then winter comes and they're all driven back to their holes or whatever. No, the left in this country is nothing but a bunch of petulant, pugnacious children.
So just because I'm a slave to factoids and I think that we shouldn't necessarily let it fall by the wayside, I want to say that Biafra, officially the Republic of Biafra, was an unrecognized secessionist state in West Africa which existed from the 30th of May of 1967 to January of 1970, and it was made up of states in the eastern region of Nigeria.
Did he name himself after that?
I suspect he did.
Jello Biafra, I believe he did. Yeah, it was a comedian.
Here's the fact.
From the 80s was
Jello Biafra was the lead singer of the Dead Kennedys,
and also he was also a comedian. He was a very funny comedian.
Kind of told some stories and stuff. Yeah. I would like to point out that a factoid, if you're into factoids aren't true.
Well, yeah. The definition is that they're false, but there's an additional definition that they're now facts. Very small.
Yes,
facts.
the term has been misused long enough that it now means the opposite of what it meant. Yes.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Let's go to your calls here and talk to Zach. He's in Ithaca, New York. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Zach.
Good evening.
Hi there.
I was curious if you had heard about the NXIVM sex cult with the woman from Smallville. Was the second in command.
Allison Mack.
Yeah,
I read a headline.
This has been in my show prep for a couple of weeks. Apparently, she got arrested for being involved in alleged sex trafficking.
Oh my!
Yeah,
this has been ongoing for.
She was the head slave to the head guy who ran it.
I've been following this story loosely for about a year. I used to have a little infatuation with Allison Mack on Smallville. Yeah.
Would you have joined her sex cult?
I don't know. From what I've heard about it, no. It would be a little bit too intense for my vanilla, self.
I have not read the stories about this, but like I said, I've had them in my show prep because to me this is an interesting story. It's just that it's been bumped out by other more interesting stories, and we haven't had a chance to cover it. And I don't feel like we should.
This story is pretty wild.
Yeah, and we don't have the time to do it justice here tonight. So Zach, do you want to give us some highlights from what's been going on? The executive summary, this thing, if you can.
Well, they put Albany on the map, and Allison Mack was the second in command. She was last spotted before her arrest, chasing down the authorities who were taking him into custody in Mexico. But what was interesting is one of the last things she tweeted before she was arrested was a picture of Marina Abramovic, who created the spirit cooking blood ritual thing.
This was the thing that Hillary Clinton was associated with, right?
Hillary Clinton, a lot of
very creepy
like
artist.
Hugh Jackman, John Podesta.
Yeah.
And it just begs a lot of questions. Like, are there ties between these kind of black magic sex cult kind of things? Why would she have tweeted that picture? Does she have information on other people, so on and so forth?
How
I just
long will
find it
she
very
live?
Fascinating. Yeah, she's gonna get Hillaried by somebody.
So, what's the story here? Do you know briefly, like, what the allegations were?
Well, essentially, it started as a life improvement call where they would tell young women that they could get over their insecurities, and gradually, through a process of grooming, they would be turned into sex slaves to the guy. I don't even know his name. The guy that was responsible for it. He would brand them with his initials.
Keith Rainier, known by group members as Vanguard.
I tell you, I got into the wrong career.
He should have been a sex cult leader.
How do they do this?
It's not too late, Mark.
It's
you
not
can embark on a new journey.
I can't blow smoke up people's butts. I just can't do it.
I've got this in the show prep. I do want to talk about it, so maybe we'll do it tomorrow night if we get the chance. Zach, thanks for the call and the heads up. It's just, if we start it now, we won't be able to do it justice. It's just, we shouldn't. So we'll continue here with more on Universal Basic Income. If we get the chance, your calls and thoughts are welcome as well on Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Join me, George Norrie, in Indian Wells, California for the 6th Annual Contact in the Desert UFO Conference, June 1st through the 4th. Contact in the Desert is an epic weekend of adventure filled with exciting explorations into ancient aliens, human origins, crop circles, UFO sightings, disclosure, and the newest evidence of ongoing contact. This amazing weekend offers more than 50 lectures, 40 workshops, 8 exciting panels, and special events. Contact in the Desert features leading experts, including me, George Norrie, Giorgio Tsoukalos, David Wilcock, Linda Moulton Howe, Michael Tellinger, Eric Von Daniken, Corey Good, Doc Wallach, and many more important researchers and scientists in the field. With a breaking New York Times story, disclosure of the Pentagon's mysterious UFO program, Contact in the Desert is the place to go to see the inside track. Join us at contactinthedesert.com or call 760-660-8484. That's contactinthedesert.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial toll-free. In these remaining moments, we have enough time for you if you dial in now. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. We also have the Discord on-air call-in line room where we had a caller there earlier. She sounded great. You can sound almost like you're sitting in the studio with us here. If you're on the Discord on-air call-in line, go to discord.lrn.fm. There are chat rooms, by the way, that have people in them throughout the day and the night. It's not just during the show, but that's certainly a good time to be there. When we're live from 7 to 10 at night Eastern Time, there's usually people chatting in the Free Talk Live room. But 24 hours a day, you might find people before, during, and after the show. Different topics are available there. Everything from gaming to cryptocurrency to ForkFest. What's ForkFest, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's coming up June 14th through the 18th. We're less than 2 months away from ForkFest. It is the second annual Decentralized Camping Festival. And we had the pleasure of broadcasting from last year's, which was the very first one. And so we're going to do it again this year because nobody can stop us, because nobody's in charge of ForkFest. There is no board of directors. There are no organizers except for everybody. So if you want to organize something, then go right ahead. It's up to you. You want to put together a list of speakers? Well, you better have a place for them to speak, like a tent and a PA system or something like that. Or just have somebody talk in front of a campfire. I don't know, however you want to do it. It's completely up to you what gets created at ForkFest 2018. It's going to be happening at the beautiful Rogers Campground in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. And it's a great excuse to come up, check out New Hampshire, check out the Liberty migration that we've been talking about here for just about ever on Free Talk Live, and find out that this is real. There really are liberty-minded people who are moving to New Hampshire, and they're settling in, they're putting down roots, and they're helping make what is already the freest of the 50 states even more free over time, and it's working. So you can get a taste of that by coming to ForkFest 2018. Again, it's June 14th through the 18th. Go to forkfest.party. You can learn a little bit more there. It's an unofficial website that links over to the unofficial forums and unofficial chat rooms, because nothing is official when it comes to ForkFest. Again, forkfest.party. As we continue here, Xavier is on the line in Savannah, Georgia. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Xavier.
Yes, hello. I'm just calling really. I used to listen to y'all when I was in prison.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Where were you in prison?
Reedsville. I just got out last Monday.
Oh, okay. And so were you there in Georgia?
Yeah.
State prison or federal?
State.
And so you actually were listening to us on the radio.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love it when we hear from prisoners.
So we're at like 7p to 10p. They're not generally doing lights
Eastern
out.
time.
Eastern time. We're not generally doing lights out until about 10 p.m. I mean, why weren't you playing cards or watching sports or whatever?
I was locked down.
Oh. Well, tell me about lockdown. What do you mean by that?
Oh, it's horrible. It's they call it the Tier 2 program, and it's really illegal though, because in California they had the SHU program.
Yeah, SHU is basically confinement in dog cages outside.
Oh my God!
Right, and they stopped it, but Georgia's so slow. They're doing it, and it's it's messed up down there. They got people locked down who's been locked down behind the door 5 years or better.
My God!
A lot of them just for nothing.
So, so were you outdoors like in California, or what was the circumstances?
Lockdown, 23 hours. You get an hour outside, maybe if they want to, but
Right.
sometimes they act like there's something going on when it's not.
So they released you straight from confinement to the outside world?
Yeah, I made parole.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the criminality of our criminal justice system. The idea that you're going to take a man and lock him in a box, treat him like, I don't know, your forgotten pet hamster for years or whatever. I mean, if you weren't in for years, there certainly were people that were there with you that were in for years. And then release him on the world with nothing more than a handful of papers and $100 and say,
good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Oh, no, you're wrong about it. It's not $100.
Okay.
It's whatever you have on your account plus $25. So if you don't have anything on your account, you only get $25. Yeah, you see. As a matter of fact, you pay $10 going in. You pay an admission fee to go into prison, and they take $1 from you every month.
You're killing me.
It's like a roller coaster ride.
Right. Roller coaster ride through hell.
But I've listened to you gentlemen for the past year.
Wow. I really appreciate it. You're not the first person who's called us or written. Sometimes we'll get letters.
Yeah, sometimes we get letters. It's nice.
From people who are still on the inside. And it's one of the places where I really love the fact that we're on radio stations because, we take it for granted.
Where do I go to watch y'all live?
Oh, you can go to twitch.lrn.fm, and that gets you to our Twitch channel, which is normally a video game streaming platform, but we're there. And that's how you can watch us live. And, of course, there are archives and all of that, downloadable MP3s over at freetalklive.com. How many years were you being held?
13 years.
Wow.
God.
So you
I
basically
was 19 when I went in.
Yeah, man. I wish I had really good advice for you, but all I can say is
you were in prison for almost 9 years.
Yeah, he's got to be aware of that.
Yeah.
It is look for a job. Keep a smile on your face the very best you can because attitude's what makes the difference out there. Try to show up early for work and be prepared to do it, and then because
you've got that ball and chain of felon to deal with when it comes to working.
Yeah, it ain't pretty, and so you've got to be that much more valuable to the employer, whomever they might be, and then you can over time. It's going to take a few years to stack up sort of good behavior at the job, and then they're going to start giving you a promotion. And giving you better things, more responsibility, and more pay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, but I'll call in every now and then.
Would love to hear from you,
so much.
Especially if you want to tell prison stories, because I know you got them.
Yeah, I do. You've told one tonight, but please, every time you think of a good prison story, call in with it because it'll be worth hearing.
Thanks for the
People
call.
want to hear that.
Xavier.
Right,
best of luck out there. We appreciate hearing from you, and thank you for listening. I love it. I mean, that's one of the greatest things about being on radio is you still reach into those areas where internet does not reach. And prisons are one of those places. So hello to everybody who is incarcerated listening to us. We're out there, or you're out there, and just let us, we're letting you know we appreciate you. Anyway, back to Ray Kurzweil here. So he claims that it's going to be this basic income scheme will be widespread by the 2030s, which we're almost upon that time. It's only a decade away. Artificial intelligence, they say, is on the verge of reshaping human society, but it's still not clear how the post-automation economy will look. Many believe new social safety nets will be in place to protect vulnerable citizens from technological unemployment, among other things. At a recent TED conference, Kurzweil made a bold prediction about the future of free money, saying, quote, "In the early 2030s, we'll have universal basic income in the developed world and worldwide by the end of the 2030s. You'll be able to live very well on that. The primary concern will be meaning and purpose." And this is the idea here by these people pitching universal basic income, is that you'll no longer need to work. You'll just be able to find meaning in your life by creating artwork or lying around all day or building a treehouse or whatever it is that people would do.
I want to do all those things.
Whenever they don't have any kind of work to do.
Yeah. Breaking into entering, chasing people down the street and raping them.
Idle hands.
Idle hands do the devil's work.
Yeah.
Facebook, and they will in this new future too.
Yeah, so they go on to just talk about the roots of the basic income going all the way back to 18th century England.
There's an article in this that's highlighted in green that I think is an interesting paragraph, I should say.
All right. Kurzweil believes that by 2029, computers will have human-level intelligence. It's not conceivable or inconceivable, then, that AI will be distributing the UBI to humans based on algorithms that are capable of crunching numbers in ways we cannot follow. Indeed, what we call the state in even just 10 years' time may have been transformed by AI and blockchain tech in a way whereby even our experience of consensus decision-making and democracy itself may have evolved. Boy, are they giving the state a lot of credit there in that.
The state, which has been
years,
has been an encumbered bureaucratic organization for many thousands of years, will suddenly have a technological leap forward.
10 years, right? This is the same state that it's taken decades to just get them to decriminalize marijuana.
Well, I gotta say that if we do get super hyper intelligent computers, I could see them somehow coming up with ways to edge politicians out.
Go to the DMV if you want to see how the state's going to be in 10 years. Just go stand there, watch them.
You're presuming that it's still a human-run state.
Those bureaucrats ain't going to give up those jobs to machines. Let me tell you, those unions
unless
were going to stand
machines
in the
figure
way.
out a way to force them out.
Well, I don't think it seems highly unlikely if we're talking 10 years from now. So, I mean, what Ian just said, it was the same thing I thought to myself. Unions are basically gone in the public sector, but they thrive in the gone in the private sector, but they thrive in the public sector.
Yeah, they're entrenched like a tick. So we'll see. And like I said, this topic is not done. These futurist types are all over this crap, and they don't know about economics. Kurzweil may be a brilliant futurist, but he doesn't understand that force is not going to achieve the goals he's looking for. We'll see you tomorrow. freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Morsels, helping you create special moments and memories your family will cherish forever. Visit us at tollhouse.com. You may bake for birthdays and holidays, but why stop there? Sweeten up the rest of the year by designating monthly dessert days. Treat your family to one of their favorites or surprise them with something new. Either way, you'll create a tradition everyone will love. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire at the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, April 24th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.63 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,325 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $36, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,331. Antiwar.com reports CIA Director Mike Pompeo is on track to become the next Secretary of State after the Senate Foreign Relations Committee voted to approve him 11-9. All Republicans voted in favor, and Senator Chris Coons voted present. Senator Rand Paul was the real deciding vote, having switched sides after opposing Pompeo. Democratic Senator Coons had also initially voted no, but changed to present as a courtesy because Senator Johnny Isaacson was not present and voted by proxy. Isaacson's vote would have made it 11-10, but only 10-10 among present voters, which would have forced Isaacson to drive back from a funeral for a second vote. Paul's change was a surprise to almost everyone. However, Senator Paul cited multiple conversations with President Trump. During the meetings, Trump assured him that he believes the Iraq War was a mistake and that the U.S. must leave Afghanistan, and that Pompeo agrees with him. President Trump has publicly expressed these positions in the past. Despite that, he's done nothing to end either of the wars. In fact, President Trump announced in August that he'd changed his mind on Afghanistan since becoming president. He said this in the process of announcing a substantial escalation of that war. Paul's reversal prevented Pompeo from becoming the first nominee since 1925 to not get the Senate panel's approval. Without Monday's vote, it was also very likely that his nomination would have failed outright, while now it appears certain.
Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co.
UPI reports a former Texas Juvenile Center employee who stole $1.2 million worth of fajitas was sentenced to 50 years in prison for theft by a public servant. Visiting State District Judge Manuel Benales ordered the 50-year sentence for Gilberto Escamilla, who admitted to using taxpayer money to buy fajita meat and sell it for profit while working as a purchaser for Darrell B. Hester Juvenile Detention Center. An audit report revealed Escamilla managed to shave $1,251,578 from food purchases for 9 years undetected. Escamilla was arrested in 2017 after $800 worth of fajitas, which the facility does not serve, were delivered while he was away from work at a doctor's appointment. Escamilla said in his testimony, "It was selfish. It started small and got bigger and out of control. It got to the point where I couldn't control it anymore." Cameron County Assistant District Attorney Peter Gilman asked the judge to issue the lengthy sentence to prevent other public servants from committing similar acts. Gilman said, "We feel a strong message should be sent."
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports police on Monday arrested the man suspected of fatally shooting 4 people at a Waffle House restaurant, ending a 36-hour manhunt after tips from the public led police to search secluded woods nearby. Photos posted online by Nashville police showed Travis Ranking, a 29-year-old construction worker, in custody. He was suspected of opening fire with an assault rifle at a restaurant early Sunday, then fleeing the scene naked. Photographed in the back of a police car, he looked disheveled and was wearing a torn red shirt and dirty blue jeans. He had scratches on his shoulder. No motive was known for the attack that sent shudders throughout one of the biggest cities in the U.S. South and stoked a simmering national debate on gun control. More than 150 city, state, and local law enforcement agents searched for the gunman, who has had a history of bizarre behavior, delusions, and multiple encounters with authorities, including an episode in Washington in July 2017 when he was arrested for trying to get into the White House, according to police reports. Tips from people in the neighborhood helped lead police to search through the woods about 2 miles from the restaurant using sniffer dogs on the ground and aircraft overhead. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Welcome back to the War for the White House bunker. A troubling new report from the Shuttleworth Institute shows that due to Facebook, every potential candidate for the 2040 presidential race, no matter how smart or accomplished, is now completely unelectable. I'm standing in the 2012 Democrat Grid with Jason Copeland. Jason, walk us through this.
Yeah, we're looking at really a political crisis. The Democrats are currently searching basements and creepy backyard sheds in search of somebody who was kidnapped at a young enough age that they have no online presence.
That is a very interesting
Could be an
tactic.
option, and the GOP has been looking at this young man. This is a 20-year-old Jeeves Jones. He's currently living in Appalachia with his fundamentalist Christian grandmother and no electricity.
So Jeeves has no Facebook page.
Jeeves does not. In fact, he's completely illiterate, and the Republican Party has begun grooming him for a possible candidacy in 2036.
All right, well, at least there's someone. Thank you, Jason Copeland.
Thanks, Andrea.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Today, let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
Take the red pill. You know, I saw a meme with Dr. Smith. I mean, not Dr. Smith. Mr. Smith in the Matrix. He had his hands out and had two blue pills in it, with the Republicans and Democrats on either side. And I go, okay, that's good. That's good. Now, what we're going to do is talk with Keith Wood about Red Pill Expo, which is what G. Edward Griffin is putting on in Spokane, Washington, on June 21st through the 24th, I think. And its conference speakers are going to include Keith Woods. So we're going to go, Patrick Woods. Patrick Wood is going to be one of the presenters at the Red Pill Expo. And he's also talking about, how y'all sign up and everything. Well, we have an ad on Freedom's Phoenix that has a code thing of something, but they're really doing a lot of promotion for this. And it has a lot of great speakers, and we can go through the list here, but like Robert Kiyosaki, G. Edward Griffin, Lord Christopher Monckton, so that starts you out. Tom DeWeese, I know him. Let's see, so Del Bigtree from the movie Vaxxed, that's going to be interesting. We should get him back on. Larry Pratt from Gun Owners of America. Let's see, Patrick Wood. Let's go ahead and see if we can have some other names that we recognize here. Y'all know. So there's a lot of them, and I'm wondering what the theme is. Let's go ahead and ask Patrick Wood. Patrick, help me out here. What's the theme? Whoa, wait a minute.
How are we doing now?
There you go. There
we go. We got a major theme is to break through the barrier of fake news and fake history. And so we've created several thought tracks, if you will, for this conference. For instance, in the area of healthcare, we've got two people that are absolutely going to hit it out of the park. Not only Del Bigtree, another lady by the name of Twyla Braze. We've got people like Larry Pratt that's going to talk about the opposition, the gun control crowd and what's really going on in Washington behind the scenes on gun control. He's an outspoken guy. He's got nothing to lose at this point. He's telling it like it is. We've got Major General Paul Vallely, who is getting up there a little bit in years, but the guy's an incredible brain, sharp as a tack. He's going to explain the insider view of the deep state. We've got Trevor Loudon coming, clearly one of the world's experts on communism and Marxism. He's exposed who these people are by name and picture in Washington, D.C., so that we can identify them. We've got a guy coming, renowned education expert, two of them actually. Dr. Duke Pesta is one, former professor at University of Wisconsin, and he's going to speak on Common Core and what's going on in education. Has our current education secretary really turned things around and thrown out Common Core? You'll be surprised. We also have Alex Newman coming, who is pretty well known to a lot of people. He's a great journalist, writer, speaker, young guy, and he probably writes half the articles in New American Magazine. The guy is just a prolific writer. So you get the idea. The list goes on and on. We got a guy coming, an expert from South Africa, who needs to explain to America what's going on with white genocide in South Africa. It's absolutely incredible. The farmers down there have been marked. They've been a crosshair on their back, literally, for extinction. And it got so hot for him in South Africa, he had to leave. His family had been there for like 300 years. And he finally said, I'm out of here. And he went to Canada. He's up in Canada now. He's a nuclear physicist, brilliant guy. But we're trying to break the pattern of fake news and fake history in one place with multiple thought tracks of things that we figure people really want to know about.
Like what? I mean, we got health, politics, QAnon. I mean, what? I mean, I got my sons all on my case. Hey, you know about Q? Yeah, I hear about and do kind of, on the inside something. But I'm going, there is the truth is what? From whom? I mean, what some of the issues? I heard you say health, probably economics or finances. What else?
Well, we will have, obviously, I'll speak. I think my address is probably going to be focused on surveillance and the pervasiveness of surveillance today, and especially in America. This is something people are really out of touch with still, even though the recent Facebook thing has shook a lot of people up. Most people have absolutely no idea of the depth of surveillance that's going on in America today and how it's leading towards a police state. People are really concerned about things like property rights right now, too. This gets you where your pocket is. Tom DeWeese is the complete, hands-down granddaddy, if you will, of the property rights restoration movement in America. This guy's amazing. He's been at this now for almost 35 years. He founded the American Policy Center in Washington and Virginia, and he has been a tireless activist to push back against Agenda 21 land use policies all over America. I don't think there's a corner of America he hasn't been to, speaking to people, teaching them how to deal with it on a local basis, how to push back in the county and the city and so on. The experts we have coming are unassailable. They're just, you listen to them and you say, wow, these guys really know what they're talking about.
One thing that G. Edward has always been about is a database, a school, a group, a influence, a suitcase of votes, something. He's always building onto. What's this build onto? What's the goal?
This is the conference itself is an outgrowth of what we call the Red Pill University. That's a separate website, by the way. But the idea is to have a Red Pill University. It's an online university where people can go as students and sign up and hear messages from faculty members, like some of the people we have at the conference coming up, where they can plug in and get a continuous feed of curated information from experts like this. And Ed's vision for Red Pill University is obviously beyond just a few people in the right movement or whatever, but it's for everybody. And he feels, as I do, and I know you do too, that we need to start speaking to those outside of our sphere of influence. We need to expand our sphere of influence and bring in young people and other people, just regular citizens out there in America that know something is wrong. They don't know what it is. they have a sense that things are getting really screwy. Some of the articles they read, the headlines, what they hear on the news and stuff, but they need to find out, okay, what it is. I know I itch, but what's causing it? That's what he wants to do with Red Pill University. So Red Pill Expo really is kind of a function of Red Pill University. And
well, I mean, to what end? You know, it's always, you know, whenever I talk to G. Edward or something, there's going to be some action. There's something coming. There's a culture shift. There's a knowledge base. There's something to be done. Well, what's to be done? I don't know. You know, what's to be done? We'll go to Red Pill Expo and find out, I guess. We're going to find out. We'll be right back. Patrick Wood in just a little bit. Oh, yeah, technocracy.news.